This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
It is Thursday at noon. Thanks for being with us. We continue to follow some breaking news. This is a live look right now, actually from our downtown cam. That's how far you can see this fire. Crews right now out in West Allis responding to a massive fire near 52nd and Burnham. As you can see right here, the smoke still very prevalent as they work to put this out. We just heard about a half hour ago from the Assistant Chief Armando Suarez del Real. He's the West Allis Fire Department from West Allis Fire Department. He spoke again at 11:30, just kind of giving us an update as to what's going on here. So let's take a listen to what he had to say.
We just got reports of fire from the soon-to-be the under construction DPW building. We had fast response crews on scene quickly. There are no reports of any injuries. Firefighters or civilians or workers that had been on site.
We are going to dip out of this actually really quickly because right now we are getting a live look right now at an interview right now. We believe the West Allis mayor speaking right now. So let's go to that right now and listen in.
I believe it's a 3-alarm fire, and we're getting. It's just right now making sure everything is under control and making sure there aren't going to be any flare-ups. I'm not a firefighter, so I don't want to misspeak on the procedure, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from our chiefs.
And from the Department of Public Works, can we expect to hear from them, a statement or something?
They're currently operating out of a facility that's in place, so that won't have any impact on service delivery as far as recycling and sanitation routes and forestry and things. So they'll be able to continue to operate. It's just another setback for their new home.
Yeah, so what does the future look like? So there were no operations coming out of this facility yet?
Correct.
Because it's under construction, set to open later this year?
Correct.
So are these crew members out of work? How does that work?
The contractors?
Correct.
I don't know. That's a question for the company building it.
Got it, okay.
Your message to your firefighters and the surrounding communities that helped out?
Well, again, very thankful for the mutual aid, and we are blessed with an excellent department in this community, and I think they showed that today. It's obvious by what we're witnessing around us right now.
And of course, we're on the border, right, of West
Yes,
Milwaukee and West Allis, all hands on deck.
Yes. So it's these are the things your tax dollars pay for, and to have this response and just to get this under control without any injuries is huge.
And I talked to residents who said it's upsetting because they've been watching this, under construction for months now. Yeah. We're seeing some of them here just, in disbelief and upset from this. What's the message to the surrounding neighborhood, the residents, the businesses?
Well, we appreciate their patience. We didn't really intend on giving them a sideshow this morning. That was unfortunate, but it's our as a city, we're always looking to just continue to provide the best services we can, and this was another step towards doing that, and we'll press on.
And lastly, what does the future hold here? Do we know estimated costs? I have to ask.
Don't know anything yet. Yeah, don't know anything yet.
We can assume, though, the open date will be pushed back.
I would assume so, yeah.
Anything else you think is important for people to know about this? How long the area here will be shut down? How long people can expect
I don't know at this point.
Okay.
I don't know at this point.
Okay. You're asking people to be patient.
Yeah.
And just thanking the crews.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really
Thanks,
appreciate it. And very nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to
Thanks
see
for
you
the
again.
help.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
And
Justin.
good luck.
Hi, Justin. Dan.
All right, and that was West Allis Mayor Dan Devine just kind of talking a little bit about what we know about what's going on here with this fire right now, as we can see crews working actively to put it out. Again, this is from our city center camera in downtown. That's how far-reaching you can see the smoke here, just kind of showing the extent of this fire and how massive it really is. So again, this is the soon-to-be West Allis DPW building. It's still under construction. There is no DPW equipment inside, according to officials. Now, Greenfield and TOSA and the Milwaukee Fire Departments are all on scene to assist right now. So it's an all-hands-on-deck situation here. West Allis Fire, though, is the main agency on site. There is no imminent risk or danger to the community. So if you are driving down this way, again, this is near 53rd and Rogers in West Allis, you are going to see this, but again, there is no imminent risk or danger. You can actually see a little bit if you look closely on the right side of your screen. There are crews on the roof right now working on this. We are actually working to get a drone up there to give you a closer look as to what exactly is going on here. But again, this is breaking news. I had brought you a little bit earlier. I was going to show you in full now, which I'm going to do. The Assistant Chief, Armando Suarez Del Real from the West Allis Fire Department. He spoke at 11:30, giving a little more detail here as to what exactly is going on. Take a listen.
We just got reports of fire from the soon-to-be the under construction DPW building. We had fast response crews on scene quickly. There are no reports of any injuries to firefighters or civilians or workers that had been on site. Due to the volume of the fire, it's still ongoing right now, but due to the volume, it was upgraded to a third alarm. So we are actively working on extinguishing. As far as origin, as far as cause, we're not sure. It's still active firefighting going on. So that's all we know at this point.
How many people on the property, inside, on the roof, around it when the fire started?
That number is not known right now.
What's the extent of the damage?
We're not sure yet. It's still active fire being fought.
Were these all construction workers here?
Assumably, yes.
It looks like it's concentrated on the roof here. Can you talk about whatever?
We did have reports of smoke and fire on the roof. As far as the exact details, we're not 100% for sure at this time.
How many stations are? Can you tell us what's burning? What materials are burning?
We're not 100% for sure at this time. It's still active fire scene.
How many stations are here up on?
Well, you have all of the city of West Allis obviously here, and then we have our shared service partners. I saw Greenfield. I know Wauwatosa is here, the city of Milwaukee. As far as the full extent of who's here, I couldn't tell you at this time.
We had an issue about a year ago where there was a foundation issue with this building. Is that a possible contributing factor, or just more broadly, what can you say about the fact that there's now a second significant issue at this property?
At this point, we don't. Those details are not known right now.
Who called in the fire? How was the department alerted to it?
We're not sure at this time.
What is this building?
This building is going to be the future site of the DPW for City of West Allis, West Milwaukee.
Any injuries at this time?
No injuries at this time to firefighters or civilians that we know of.
Do you have any past responses here to this property?
That's something we can get you. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you that right now.
So you can't tell us if it's construction materials burning? You can't tell us what is burning on the roof?
Well, without having a sheet of exactly what everything's in there, I couldn't tell you exactly what's burning. Right now, as you can imagine, I have not been anywhere close to the inside of the building, so I wouldn't know what's involved at this time, other than that we had reports that there was a fire on the roof.
Can you tell us about the effort in a building of this size and how difficult this might be?
Well, this is a massive effort. This is something that's going to require a lot of neighboring departments to help us out with. Obviously, our department itself has limited capabilities based on number of units. So when you have a fire that's this size, it's going to require a lot of extra help. As you can see, you have different departments with their ladders up, and obviously different companies walking around here. So.
And what is the impact to the neighborhood here? The businesses, the homes, are you monitoring that, hoping it doesn't spread at all?
Yeah, I don't think that there's any risk of it spreading right now. I think they have it pretty well contained. They are still working on active fire, but as far as the danger to the community, I think that they're safe at this time.
What are the differences in fighting a fire like this that is still under construction site on a large property versus, say, a residential structure fire?
I think with anything like that, you're going to have increased, difficulty in fighting fire just based on size, right? You're going to need more companies, more crews, more improvised tactics and whatnot. So this is a big effort that's going on right now.
Is the majority of the fire on the roof in the building?
We're not sure at this time.
Is there
right
fire
now the fire's still underway. They're still fighting fire at this time. We got nothing else for you guys. Thank you guys. You guys have a good day.
Thank you.
That was the Assistant Fire Chief in West Allis right now, talking a little bit about this fire that is still burning right now at a future DPW building. This is at 53rd and Rogers in West Allis. Of course, very far away shot, but you can see the smoke in the air from that fire. That, again, still a very active scene right now. Taking a live look a little bit closer. Looks like things are wrapping up here, I want to say. Looks like the fire has been controlled right now as crews continue to work on the scene right now. Still pretty active, though. We know that several municipalities have responded to this, including Greenfield, Wauwatosa, and Milwaukee, who are on scene to assist. But again, West Allis Fire, the main agency that's on site right now. You can see, actually, if you look really closely beyond the big fire truck, there is a lot of fire crews that are just gathered in that area right now. But again, this is a live look right now at 53rd and Rogers in West Allis. Still, just look at all of the crews that are on scene right now. This is very, very active and blocked off. People aren't able to get through here at Burnham looks like is the intersection there right now. So, but again, near 53rd and Rogers in West Allis for those of you who may be in the area or familiar with some of the streets there. So we will continue to follow this and bring you updates just as soon as we learn more. But again, we know no injuries have been reported so far, and there is no imminent risk or danger to the public. We are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, but our coverage continues on this fire when we come back. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Continuing to follow some breaking news out in West Allis, taking a live look right now. This is from our city center camera. You can see far away right now, off to the right side, crews are working to put out a fire that started earlier this morning at the future DPW building for West Allis and Milwaukee. We heard earlier from the West Allis assistant fire chief about this. No injuries reported, as well as the mayor. So let's take a listen to the mayor who spoke just a few minutes ago.
Operating out of a facility that's in place, so that won't have any impact on service delivery as far as recycling and sanitation routes and forestry and things. So they'll be able to continue to operate. It's just another setback for their new home.
Yeah, so what does the future look like? So there were no operations coming out of this facility yet.
Correct.
Because it's under construction, set to open later this year.
Correct.
So are these crew members out of work? How does that work?
The contractors?
Correct.
I don't know. That's a question for the company building it.
Got it. Okay.
Your message to your firefighters and the surrounding communities that helped out?
Well, again, very thankful for the mutual aid, and we are blessed with an excellent department in this community, and I think they showed that today. It's obvious by what we're witnessing around us right now.
And of course, we're on the border, right, of West
Yes,
Milwaukee and West
yes.
Allis, all hands on deck.
Yes. So it's these are the things your tax dollars pay for, and to have this response and just to get this under control without any injuries is huge.
And I talked to residents who said it's upsetting because they've been watching this, under construction for months now.
Yeah.
We're seeing some of them here just, in disbelief and upset from this. What's the message to the surrounding neighborhood, the residents, the businesses?
Well, we appreciate their patience. We didn't really intend on giving them a sideshow this morning. That was unfortunate, but it's our as a city, we're always looking to just continue to provide the best services we can, and this was another step towards doing that, and we'll press on.
And lastly, what does the future hold here? Do we know estimated costs? I have to ask.
Don't know anything yet. Yeah, don't know anything yet.
We can assume, though, the open date will be pushed back.
I would assume so, yeah.
Anything else you think is important for people to know about this? How long the area here will be shut down? How long people can
I don't know at this point.
Okay.
I don't know at this point.
Okay. You're asking people to be patient
Yeah.
and just thanking the crews.
Correct.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
So that was the mayor just a few minutes ago speaking to reporters about this fire that's going on right now in West Allis. Again, it's to a future DPW building for West Allis and Milwaukee. We know no injuries have been reported. Crews still on scene, very active right now. So we're hoping to get more information soon. But yeah, still a lot of unknowns about how this fire started, what actually was on fire at that time. We know, again, though, no injuries have been reported. West Allis Fire is the main agency that's on site right now as they continue to work here. Let's take a look right now. This is what the scene looks like here at this future site for the DPW building. Looks like we might be zooming in here to get a closer look at what's going on here. As you can see, crews on the roof right now. That's where the fire, we believe, originated, from where we're seeing the smoke there. So we're hoping to get more information, and as soon as we do, we will bring it to you. We have several crews on the scene right now, including our reporter Ashley Sears, hoping to get an update as well as some drone video to figure out what exactly is going on top of this building right now. So once we get that, we will bring it to you. Now, the last fire official we heard from was about an hour ago at 11:30-ish. The assistant chief, Armando Suarez del Real, spoke with reporters. He's with the West Allis Fire Department. Here's what he had to say. Take a listen.
We just got reports of fire from the soon-to-be the under-construction DPW building. We had fast response crews on scene quickly. There are no reports of any injuries. Firefighters or civilians or workers that had been on site. Due to the volume of the fire, it's still ongoing right now, but due to the volume, it was upgraded to a third alarm. So we are actively working on extinguishing. As far as origin, as far as cause, we're not sure. It's still active firefighting going on, so that's all we know at this point.
How many people on the property, inside, on the roof, around it when the fire started?
That number is not known right now.
What's the extent of the damage?
We're not sure yet. It's still active fire being fought.
Were these all construction workers here?
Assumably, yes.
It looks like it's concentrated on the roof here. Can you talk about whatever?
We did have reports of smoke and fire on the roof. As far as the exact details, we're not 100% for sure at this time.
How many
Can you tell us
stations
what's burning? What materials are burning?
We're not 100% for sure at this time. It's still active fire scene.
How many stations are here to help on?
Well, you have all of the city of West Allis obviously here, and then we have our shared service partners. I saw Greenfield. I know Wauwatosa's here, the city of Milwaukee. As far as the full extent of who's here, I couldn't tell you at this time.
We had an issue about a year ago where there was a foundation issue with this building. Is that a possible contributing factor, or just more broadly, what can you say about the fact that there's now a second significant issue at this property?
At this point, we don't. Those details are not known right now.
Who called in the fire? How was the department alerted to it?
We're not sure at this time.
What is this building?
This building is going to be the future site of the DPW for City of West Allis, West Milwaukee.
Any injuries at this time?
No injuries at this time to firefighters or civilians that we know of.
Do you have any past responses here to this property?
That's something we can get you. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you that right now.
So you can't tell us if it's construction materials burning? You can't tell us what is burning on the roof?
Well, without having a sheet of exactly what everything's in there, I couldn't tell you exactly what's burning. Right now, as you can imagine, I have not been anywhere close to the inside of the building, so I wouldn't know what's involved at this time, other than that we had reports that there was a fire on the roof.
Can you tell us about the effort in a building of this size and how difficult this might be?
Well, this is a massive effort. This is something that's going to require a lot of neighboring departments to help us out with. Obviously, our department itself has limited capabilities based on number of units. So when you have a fire that's this size, it's going to require a lot of extra help. As you can see, you have different departments with their ladders up, and obviously different companies walking around here. So. And
what is the impact to the neighborhood here, the businesses, the homes? Are you monitoring that, hoping it doesn't spread at all?
Yeah, I don't think that there's any risk of it spreading right now. I think they have it pretty well contained. They are still working on active fire, but as far as the danger to the community, I think that they're safe at this time.
What are the differences in fighting a fire like this that is still under construction site on a large property versus, say, a residential structure fire?
I think with anything like that, you're going to have increased, difficulty in fighting fire just based on size, right? You're going to need more companies, more crews, more improvised tactics and whatnot. So this is a big effort that's going on right now.
Is the majority of the fire on the roof in the building?
We're not sure at this time.
Is there
right now the fire's still underway. They're still fighting fire. At this time, we got nothing else for you guys. Thank you, guys.
All right, again, that was the assistant fire chief with West Allis there talking just about an hour ago right now, but this is live right now. This is the scene. I mean, it's far away. This is our city center camera, but it's zoomed in right here at 53rd and Rogers in West Allis. That's the site of a future DPW building under construction right now. We know that no injuries were reported. The fire started just a couple hours ago here. We are seeing a lot of the smoke concentrated on the roof, but still a lot of unknowns right now as to how this fire started or where things are at right now. We know crews are still on scene right now. Smoke has seemed to diminish since we last took a live look out there. So, but again, what we know is that there are no injuries that have been reported so far. Greenfield, Wauwatosa, and Milwaukee fire departments are on scene to assist the West Allis Fire Department. I guess the biggest thing right now is there is no imminent risk or danger to the community. So if you know somebody who might be driving by here or might be seeing the smoke, there is no risk to the public. So everybody should be safe. And as crews continue to work to put this out and figure out what exactly happened here and how this started. Again, this is the soon-to-be West Allis DPW building. We do have several crews on scene, including our reporter, Ashley Sears. She's live right there right now. We're going to go to her, who I believe is going to be talking with the mayor of West Allis. Hey, Ash.
What do they know so far?
Yeah, hi, Maddie. We're joined with Mayor Dan Devine here, who is the mayor of West Allis. I guess, what can you tell us about this building and this fire that happened today?
So it was reported that a fire started on the roof. Luckily, no injuries. Everybody got out safely. This was going to be the new DPW facility and also house our engineering staff and our IT department once completed.
Can you tell us about the construction, when it began and when this was supposed to be finished, and kind of what this now does for the project?
Well, it was supposed to open, the latest date was in fall, like probably October, early November. This will set it back. I just don't know how long yet until they get in there and see the damage.
Do you know anything about the cost of like what this might?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
Nothing yet. They're still putting out hot spots, and we just can't. We have no assessment guess on the damage right now.
No workers inside there that were associated with DPW, right? And the trucks? Or?
It was all contractors that were in there, so DPW is still operating out of its facility over on McGeough Avenue. Sorry.
When something like this happens, I mean, this is supposed to be this beautiful new building. I guess describe that feeling to me and kind of now what this means for DPW and what their current building is like.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird set of emotions walking up here because, you know, it's very disappointing and frustrating, but at the same time seeing not only the West Allis firefighters and the West Allis police doing what they do, as well as the neighboring jurisdictions coming in and helping out. It's just a really good example of how departments work together and really look out for one another and really do everything they can to provide the best services possible. So that was just encouraging to see, you know, no injuries, under control. From what I could tell, fairly quickly, and just everyone coming together and working together on it was kind of the feel-good piece of it, but you know, still frustrating.
Yeah, we were chatting about just how quickly, you know, from the time I arrived here to, you know, it seemed like a lot of smoke, and then it was quickly brought under control. I guess, what does that say about, you know, that teamwork?
Well, they're professionals, they're trained, they're skilled, and they know what they're doing, and that's, you know, that's the reason we have them, and you know, we just really appreciate what they do. Like I said, you know, every day you appreciate them, but when you see something like this, it really enforces the appreciation for what they do.
Can you give us a little history of the project, the current DPW building, what's that like, and why there was a need for this?
It seems like it was so long ago we talked about that, but yeah, our facility on McGeough Avenue is very old. It's an odd-shaped parcel. There just were a lot of expensive repairs on the roof and some of the HVAC and some of the equipment in there. Some of the trucks were stored outdoors, which, you know, expedited the wear and tear on those, so they would rust quicker, or they would get, you know, they would just wear down quicker. So it was a long process of trying to work on the vision for this facility to be behind me. But it was doing all the math of how many hundreds of thousands of dollars we were pouring in each year to do repairs. You know, it's kind of like when you have an old vehicle in your home, and how long do you duct tape it together before you finally decide to bite the bullet and take buy a new car, buy a new used car.
Can you tell us now about next steps when something like this happens? Now, where do we go from here with assessing all the damage and the cost?
I really don't know at this point. I mean, they're going to start doing an investigation soon. I'm hoping later today on the extent of the damage and the cause and all those things. But that's probably more of a chief question than a mayor question.
But I mean, in terms of like budgeting and stuff for the city.
Well, it's going to depend on a lot of factors that I don't know right now, as far as fault and insurance agreements and what's all in the contract. I don't have that right in front of me, so that's hard to answer right now.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us,
right.
and I'm glad everyone here is safe and it's under control right now. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
All right.
You heard there from Mayor Devine saying that this is a hiccup in the DPW building plan, but right now they are grateful that this fire is under control and that there were no injuries inside, Maddie.
Ashley, any smoke still coming out from the building? I know you had talked about it mostly being contained with the mayor. Anything else still going on up there? Are crews still working?
We don't see much smoke. There are some crews on top of the building, but they're not, they don't have their hoses out or anything like that. They're walking on top of the building. I was able to see some images from our drone, and there appeared to be some pallets on top of the building. Not sure what those were, and there were some other fire crews up there. But right now, the smoke has seemed to dissipate quite a bit from when we got here, and right now it seems to be that these fire crews are kind of walking around investigating, but not in this defensive mode anymore.
When we're talking about where you're at, because it appears obviously they're blocking some things off so that they're able to work and investigate what actually happened here. Are you in a populated area where a lot of people are driving, or is this more of an industrial site for people who might not be familiar?
I'm not really familiar with this area myself, unfortunately, but I can tell you, around here there are several industrial buildings, and then if my photographer Justin Du Bois pans around here, you'll be able to see there are quite a few apartments and some homes behind us here, so we're right next to a few buildings here, but the assistant fire chief, said there is no danger to the community around here. They don't believe this would have spread, and they don't believe there's anything toxic in the air that would be harmful to residents nearby.
And it's drawing a bit of a scene here. As you panned over to all of the houses there as well, have you spoken to any people, neighbors who might have witnessed when this fire was at its peak earlier?
Yeah, briefly in between my live shot and when we were flying drone, I was able to speak with a gentleman who said he was at a doctor's appointment today, and he saw massive flames and black smoke shooting up from the building, and then he started to drive a little bit more, and then he noticed that there were fire crews here, but he commented on how quickly things seem to be brought under control here from his vantage point.
And I know we just flew the drone up. Does that footage, if you've taken a look, given any more insight as to what the damage is on top of the roof?
I briefly looked at some images, and all I saw were some pallets. It appeared to be some sort of pallets. This is a building under construction, so I don't know if it was materials for the building or what they might be. I don't want to speculate. But it just appeared to be some pallets. I didn't see extensive damage, but I looked at one image briefly there for a few seconds before heading to interview the mayor.
Gotcha. Ashley, thank you for being out there and gathering everything for us here. We'll come back to you if we get any new updates. Thanks for joining us. Again, this is a live look right now at the scene right now near 53rd and Rogers in West Allis. I believe the intersection, though, here is at Burnham right now, as fire does seem to be out now. As Ashley was saying, smoke also dissipated as well. Again, still a lot of questions. This is supposed to be the future site, or is the soon-to-be West Allis DPW building. It's still under construction, as Ashley was saying, so not clear whether or not there's the damage or if it's related to the construction will be something that we'll be waiting to get an update from for officials. But again, this is a live look right now. Again, no danger to the public, no injuries reported right now, but we'll be sure to bring you any more updates just as soon as we get them here on Fox Local. Going to take a quick break. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey everybody, thanks for being with us. It's 12:30 on your Thursday afternoon. Let's give you a live look right now. This is the scene right now near 53rd and Rogers. It's the site of a future DPW building for West Allis in the city of Milwaukee. It's under construction, but there was a fire there just a few hours ago that broke out. We don't know what started the fire, but we do know that no injuries have been reported so far, and it does appear to be under control for the most part. We did get a drone up there to take a look at the roof to see if we could get any insight on some of the damage there. And as crews continue to kind of walk around the scene right now, again, things don't look too urgent because it does appear that the fire is out for now. If you look right now, though, the smoke still lingering in the air right now. This is a live look actually from our city center camera all the way in downtown Milwaukee. You can see the smoke from there. So once we get any updates, we'll be sure to bring them to you. But we know this was an all hands on deck situation. We know Greenfield, Tosa, and Milwaukee fire departments were on scene to assist. The West Allis fire is the main agency on site, though. We heard from several officials, including the assistant fire chief as well as Mayor Dan Devine for the West Allis, the city of West Allis, both saying that not sure of the timeline of this, whether or not this will affect the opening of the DPW building or whether or not this will play a part in the budgeting. Again, they are still trying to assess the damage there, but when we get any updates, we will be sure to bring them to you right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Going to switch gears right now and take you out to where Mayor Cavalier Johnson is speaking right now. He's talking to neighborhood residents and local business leaders, talking a little bit about a redevelopment plan right now. So let's take a listen in right here.
And without further ado, I'm going to ask Mike to come up and take the mic. Mike, take the mic.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Mike Watkinson, Chief Operating Officer at Global Power Components, and it is, certainly an honor to be here with all of you today. What makes today a special day is that we're here to celebrate this investment in people, in families, and in the future of this neighborhood and this community. Parks are where community life happens. It's where kids come to make friends, families come to make memories. It is where neighbors come to get to know each other a little bit better, and they're often the heart of the neighborhood. So that's why Global Power Components is proud to support the redevelopment of the park and to help create a space that will serve the community for many, many years to come. I want to thank Mayor Johnson, Alderman Burgellis, the Milwaukee Parks Department, or the City Parks Department, community leaders, all of the neighbors, in the community, El Rey for their, contribution to it as well. And I think that's really, really special to kind of make this this project happen and serve the people that live here. For Global Power Components, this investment reflects who we are as a company. Milwaukee is our home for nearly 30 years. We've been building our business in Milwaukee. We've been investing in the community, growing our workforce, and as we've continued to expand in recent years, we've remained committed to being more than just a manufacturer. We are committed to being a strong community partner and a good neighbor as well. And that is our commitment to Milwaukee. We believe successful companies have a responsibility really to be that partner with the community where their employees live, where their employees work, and where their employees raise their families. This contribution is one way that we can help strengthen Milwaukee and contribute to the quality of life that makes the city really such a great place to call home. We're proud to be growing in Milwaukee, and we're proud to be part of this project. Thanks again to everybody who's involved and who made this happen. And that I'll turn it over to the gentleman from El Rey to say.
El Rey, Marcus.
Good afternoon, fellow neighbors and community partners. On behalf of El Rey, I'm proud to be here today representing a company that has been part of Milwaukee for generations. At El Rey, we believe that our business is more than a place where people work and customers shop. We are part of the communities that we serve. Milwaukee's families in this neighborhood have supported this El Rey for 15 years now since we opened. And it's our honor and pleasure to support back in this project for the neighborhood's enjoyment. This investment is much more than the playground equipment or improvements to a piece of land. It's about the people. It's about giving children a place to play, giving families a place to gather, giving neighbors a place to create memories together. Over the years working here, we at El Rey have had the joy of seeing many neighborhood families use this space to use the playground, to have a peaceful meal or picnic, to play with their pets, and it warms my heart to have the opportunity to take part in creating a new and improved space for the neighborhood's next generation to utilize in those continued experiences. At El Rey, we're proud of our Milwaukee roots, and we're proud to invest in a place where children and families can come together, play, celebrate, and build memories for years to come. We hope that this contribution is not only an investment in the park, but a reflection of our continued commitment to Milwaukee, this neighborhood, and the families we love serving in this community. El Rey would like to thank Alderman Bergelis, Mayor Johnson, Manpower, City of Milwaukee Parks, and our neighborhood residents who have helped envision what this park can become. Thank you for allowing El Rey to be part of this exciting new chapter, and we're honored to be here and can't wait to see what this community creates here.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joe Kruschke, Commissioner of Public Works for the City of Milwaukee. It's great to be here today to celebrate this investment in the White Manor neighborhood and the redevelopment of this park at 51st and Stack. I want to start by thanking the Mayor Johnson for his leadership and his commitment for investing in Milwaukee's public spaces. I also want to thank Alderman Bergelis for his support and his efforts to help advance this project forward. And of course, I want to thank El Rey and Global Power Components for their very generous contributions. A combined $250,000 in private investment is significant, and it's going to make a huge difference what we're going to be able to do on this project. We're currently in conceptual design phase of the redevelopment, and our Milwaukee City Parks team is working closely with neighborhood residents to finalize the vision for this space. Community input is at the center of this process. Our staff has been talking with residents about what they want to see here, what would be useful for families in the future to make this White Manor neighborhood better. In addition to funding from El Rey and Global Power Components, it is allowing us to expand our scope of the project and consider possibilities that we wouldn't have had before, and that would expand on our vision, and now it's going to be expanded even further. That includes opportunities to explore public art, community gathering spaces, which could potentially include a pavilion. There are currently no running water here, which Alderman Bergelis had said earlier, so we can explore the possibility of adding a bubbler, or AKA water fountain if you're not from the area, a potential water fountain or water feature as part of the redevelopment. These are all meaningful additions that can make the park more useful and more welcoming. And now we can be explored because of these additional investments from two great Milwaukee businesses. This park has served this neighborhood and families for more than 20 years. And as the playground and amenities have aged, the redevelopment gives us an opportunity to renew the space and create something that meets the needs of the neighborhood today. I want to thank the Milwaukee City Parks staff for their work they're putting in every day in this process and for the time they're spending with the community. Once we finalize the conceptual design, the project will move into a bidding phase. We're hoping to begin construction in spring of 2027 with the goal of completing the project by the end of 2027. I want to thank, again, the residents for participating in this, who have shared their time and efforts and ideas as part of the process. And I want to thank El Rey and Global Power Components for this tremendous investment in this park and space. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. And now's the fun time. Now's the fun moment when we'll ask Nelson to come up and sign his check. I hope there's ink in it. See, we get the commitment on camera. Right? Hold on, hold this, and then Mike. There's one for you too.
All right.
Awesome. And now we'll take some photos. But thank you so much, everyone. It's like Ed McMahon. We need some balloons.
Ernesto, come on up.
Kayla, yo, come on up. You did all the work. right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much.
Much appreciated, guys.
All right, this is live right now in the city of Milwaukee, where Mayor Cavalier Johnson, along with Alderman Peter Bergelis, joining neighborhood residents and local business leaders to announce $250,000. You saw those two fat checks there. It's all in private donations to support the redevelopment of the city park at 51st Street and Stack Drive. As you can see in the distance there behind, I was Googling this, looking up a little bit closer look at the playground there, as we're actually getting a more zoomed in look here. Pretty good that this will be like a redevelopment project for it, because I mean the park, it looks nice itself, but obviously a little old and dated, as city officials were saying there. So it'll be interesting to see how the development project goes and what exactly goes into this site here for the playground. So, but again, $250,000 in private donations to redevelop this. So great news for neighbors who live around this area, who have kids, might want to get them out. I know I loved going to the park when I was a kid as well. So always good to see redevelopments happening here in the city of Milwaukee. We are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be right back in 2 minutes, though. We have some updates on that fire, so stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Continuing to follow some news we broke to you just a few hours ago about a fire at the future DPW building in West Allis. Here's a live look right now from our city center camera, where fire does seem to mostly be contained here. No smoke in sight right now at the building itself, but still lingering in the air here, as you can see. And it's something that you can see all the way from downtown in the city of Milwaukee, so a town over. You can just kind of speaks to how massive this fire once was just a few hours ago. We heard from several fire officials as well as the mayor of West Allis, Dan Devine, talking a little bit about what's next for the building. And again, it's still pretty unknown. But again, this is the scene much calmer now than what it was just a few hours ago. Our Ashley Sears talked with a few witnesses about what they saw near the site at 53rd and Rogers. Let's take a look. Listen.
Over on 43rd, Miller Parkway, right over there on the corner. And as we were coming out, we actually saw fire shooting out of the top of the building, such as a gigantic, like solid black plume. And at that time, we could tell there was like no fire response quite yet because it was still black. So, I mean, we were just really worried, hoping nobody got hurt or anything. We could literally see the flames shooting out of the top of the building as well. Wow. It's pretty crazy. So,
do you live over here, or did you just come to check it out then?
No, actually, I mean, I was over for a doctor's visit over on Miller Parkway, but I actually live over by 76th Street.
Okay.
So,
and to see it now, I mean, how long did you see those flames shooting out?
10, 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes about, I'd say safely, if we want to 100% it. So,
it seems like they got it under control pretty quickly.
Yeah, they did. That was pretty crazy because, yeah, we saw the black and it was just straight black, and then all of a sudden we started seeing it turn to gray, which is how, usually if it's being, they're putting water on it and stuff. So, yeah, like I said, a lot of our biggest concerns was just making sure nobody got hurt.
And hearing that no one did, I mean...
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad nobody got hurt. I'm glad they were able to get here. I do find it interesting that it's the DPW that started on fire.
Under construction.
Under construction as well, yeah. So I guess we'll see how that's going to go from there.
Are you a West Allis resident? I'm sorry, you said...
I did grow up in West Allis,
okay.
yeah.
So this building was supposed to open this year.
That's what I heard. Another gentleman down the street was telling me they invested $60 million in this thing. So let's hope that all that safety stuff is going to pay off in the end. So I was actually over at a doctor's office over on...
All right, so that was what we heard from a witness earlier that Ashley Sears, our reporter on scene, talked to. But let's give you another live look right now. We actually are getting an update. We just got an official update from the West Allis Fire Department right now. I'm going to read it to you live on air. This just came into our newsroom. It says the city of West Allis is confirming that a fire occurred around 10:30 in the morning at the construction site of the new Department of Public Works building located at 1906 South 53rd Street. So again, 53rd and Burnham Street here. The fire initially reported as coming from the roof of the structure. West Allis Fire Department units arrived on scene within approximately 3 minutes, found the roof significantly involved in the fire. Due to the conditions encountered, the incident was escalated to a 3-alarm response, prompting assistance from neighboring agencies. As we heard earlier from the assistant West Allis Fire Chief Armando Suarez Del Real saying that Greenfield, Tosa, and Milwaukee were some of the departments on scene to assist. So all individuals, again, on site were safely evacuated. We know that construction workers were there at the time the fire started, so it's good that they were all evacuated safely, and also nobody got hurt, which is also a big thing here as well. You can actually see right now live, if you take a look in the center area of your screen, it looks like maybe some water still being sprayed on the roof there as crews work to continue the cleanup process now after this fire began. So the West Allis Fire Department going on to say at this time the fire has been contained. Investigators are currently on site, and the cause of the fire as well as the full extent of the damage is still, we don't know. We don't know what it is yet. So more information, they're saying, will be shared soon as it is received and confirmed. Again, they go on to say the city is grateful for the swift actions of first responders and their ongoing efforts to ensure safety at the scene. Again, any additional updates about the cause or how this even started and the potential impact, again, that's the big question I feel like now is what's impact is this going to have? Because this West Allis, the DPW building, is supposed to open this year, assuming that will now be delayed now as construction was going on and now this fire happened, definitely going to delay some of the processes there. So again, still waiting to hear what the exact impact this will have on that opening and on the building itself. Once we get more information, we will bring it to you right here on Fox Local. Are going to take a quick break on the Wisconsin Live Desk, continue to bring you more live coverage of that fire as well as other news happening in southeast Wisconsin today, so be sure to stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Continuing to follow that breaking news out of West Allis, let's give you a live look right now. This is from our city center camera. You can see the smoke still in the air right now after crews battled a 3-alarm fire this morning. It started around 10:30. We just got an update from the city of West Allis actually talking a little bit about this, saying that at this time the fire is contained, but investigators are still on site trying to figure out what happened here, what the cause of the fire was and exactly went down. Again, we do know that a lot of the fire happened in the roof area, so we are working to get you some drone video that we shot earlier to kind of see what the damage might be and what they might be dealing with here after this fire has been contained right now. Again, this is the site of a future DPW building for West Allis and the city of Milwaukee. It's supposed to open later this year, so we're unsure whether or not this fire will impact that delay and the extent of the damage. But again, once we get more information, we'll bring it to you. But that is the latest update from the city of West Allis. We just got into our inbox just about 10 minutes ago, so trying to bring you the very latest here on Fox Local. We are going to dip out of that right now and take you out to Washington, D.C., where it's a preview event going on right now for the Indy car race, which is happening on Sunday, actually. I always watch this race with my dad. So we're going to take you out to the preview event that's happening right now. Take a listen.
What we're going to do here would have been about 35 more laps or 40 more. So a solid 50% more. So it'll definitely be the longest street course we've ever done.
Yeah, well, and you all know the math to the street course here. It was originally 125 laps because we wanted to fit in the TV window. And somebody said, what's the significance? Am I on again or off? What's the significance of 125 laps? And I went, duh. Let's do 1.7 miles divided into 250. I equals 147 laps. So it's just 22 more laps more is all. Maybe another pit stop, right?
I mean, it's going to depend, but for sure at least 3. You never know with cautions and stuff, but 3 to 4 can be more as well but you cannot do it with less than 3 pit stops, which is a ton. Like that just suddenly opens up a lot the strategies and the opportunities. But I think it's going to be like 4. We'll see. Nope. There's the first time.
You're going to have the rest of the guys down the straightaway barreling at it. So it's going to be an interesting start. Santino, you've had the Stars and Stripes livery on your car all season. And then last year as well, too, and we'll see it again this weekend. You race for homes for our troops. There couldn't be a more fitting place to race with that livery than here in Washington, D.C. Talk about what that means to you.
Yeah, it's obviously an honor to be representing the Stars and Stripes and Homes for Our Troops, and working with the charity. It's a charity for our severely injured post 9/11 veterans, so guys that go off to war, that fight for the freedoms that we have today, for chances to have, like we have racing around the Capitol, and, to be in the series and, getting a chance to meet all these veterans throughout the years and then to be carrying that livery all season long, coming to the Capitol. It's nice. I feel like we kicked off the Stars and Stripes liveries for this season coming here.
This is live right now in Washington, D.C., a little preview event ahead of the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. Again, you can watch that right here on Fox 6 on August 23rd, which will be on Sunday, live from Washington, D.C. Something you're not going to want to miss. I know, again, I was saying my dad and I, we love to watch all of the IndyCar races, so it should be a good one, especially for America's 250th birthday. We are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Continuing to follow new developments that are happening in West Allis right now after a 3-alarm fire happened just earlier this morning. It started around 10:30. This is drone video that we have right now. We got from our FOX6, our Skyfox drone rather, just taking a look at some of the damage that we might be able to see from the roof there. Again, this was a site that was under construction. It's the future DPW building for West Allis and West Milwaukee. Supposed to open later this year. No word on the impact this fire has had on possibly the, oh my gosh, yeah, that's, if you look at it there, you can see, again, still a little hard to tell because this was a construction site on what the damage will be just based off of these images here that we're seeing. But again, once we get any updates, we will bring them to you right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. The good news, nobody was hurt in this. We did get that confirmed from fire officials as well as the city of West Allis. Again, what the plans will be in the future for this building and the timeline for opening, we still do not know. Again, we'll bring you updates as we learn more. I'm going to switch gears now and take you out to Waukesha County. That's where the man who's convicted of killing his neighbor, Kevin Leishwick, was sentenced today. Brett Lemoyne in the courtroom area. Brett, what did we learn today?
Well, Kevin Leishwick is going to prison for the rest of his life. Of course, the charge of first-degree intentional homicide, Maddie, carries a mandatory life sentence. What the judge determined today, though, was he'll be going to prison for the rest of his life without the possibility of release. You'll recall he was convicted, Leishwick was convicted by a jury back in June of that count of first-degree intentional homicide and also of hiding a corpse. The sentence for that somewhat moot now because of the life sentence with the homicide, but he was also sentenced to the maximum for that as well, which amounts to about 7.5 years in prison just for that particular count alone.
Brett, for people who might not be familiar with this case, kind of walk us through how we got to the sentencing today.
Maddie, is one of the most bizarre and disturbing cases that I've covered in Waukesha County. It is quite memorable for all the wrong reasons. This happened back in April of 2024. Prosecutors say Leishwick got into some sort of dispute with his neighbor at an apartment building just about a block away from where I'm standing from this courthouse here. Ultimately, they say Leishwick tied up Carlos Maldonado in a chair, shot him in the stomach and in the head, dragged his body from the building out into the woods, hid the body in under a tarp and some twigs. It wasn't until 6 months later that a passerby discovered Maldonado's body. Police come. They obviously talked with all of the neighbors. They start gathering information here, piecing together what took place. Ultimately, a few weeks later, they arrest Leishwick. They say that he had the murder weapon, a gun, in his car. They also found some of the duct tape that was used in this case and a hit list titled Operation Slop Shop that was handwritten in his apartment that had Maldonado's name on it. We don't know why he killed Carlos Maldonado, and that was certainly something that Maldonado's family expressed anger about today during sentencing. Both Maldonado's sister and his daughter spoke to the judge. They said that Maldonado was a cancer survivor. In fact, he was thinking that he had a second chance at life after beating cancer. He was in remission when ultimately he was killed by Kevin Leishwick.
Such disturbing details. I know we streamed a lot of it live here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Did Leishwick speak at all today at his sentencing hearing?
He did, and you'll recall one of the other wrinkles in this case that made it so just wild and disturbing was the fact that he represented himself during the trial. Now, he has obviously every right to do so, but the judge called him out frequently for what he described as antics in the courtroom, trying to halt proceedings, objecting when he shouldn't have, and things of that nature. You'll recall he was complaining about some illnesses that he said he had that delayed him from getting prepared for the trial. He also at one point stuffed some material in his ears, makeshift earplugs, if you will, to try and stop from listening to the proceedings. He did speak today. He maintains his innocence. He says all along, falsely, that he was set up by police, that he never killed anyone. The judge said, well, the evidence shows the contrary, that there was a mountain of evidence against him. And again, family members of Carlos Maldonado very upset that they just still have those lingering questions, but at least they found justice in this life sentence today.
Yeah, hopefully some closure for sure now that the case is wrapping. Did Leischwick apologize or address the victim's family at all today?
You know, he has said, and he said today and he said before, that he's sorry that Maldonado was killed, but he did not take any responsibility for that. Again, saying that he was set up. He said, and I quote, "I've never killed anyone before." So he is still maintaining his innocence. Again, prosecutors, the judge, police, obviously the investigators of this case say otherwise. That it was the mountain of evidence against him certainly indicates that he was the only person responsible for this. They also, you'll recall at trial, Maddie, were playing trail cameras that were set up in the woods with permission from the property owner, the apartment owner there, by another resident. So they had placed a trail camera up in the woods with permission that caught Leischwick going back and forth. Now, they don't have video of the body. I believe, if I recall correctly, Maddie, it was because of the time length that they had those recordings for. But they did have video of Leischwick going back and forth in the middle of the night into the woods back and forth from his apartment building. Again, these two men lived right across the hall from each other inside this building.
Yeah, it's definitely a very compelling case for the wrong reasons. Very disturbing details there. Hopefully the family, as we were saying, able to get some closure today. Brett, thank you so much for joining us on the live desk. We are going to take a quick break here, but again, you heard from Brett, Kevin Leischwick, the man convicted of killing his neighbor, sentenced to life in prison. We know that he was charged with first-degree intentional homicide, which does carry a mandatory life sentence if convicted, so he will be serving that. But we brought you a lot of that trial right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. I certainly remember it. It did not come without its challenges and roadblocks. We know, as Brett had mentioned, the judge calling some of Leischwick's behavior outbursts, or antics rather, as court was trying to get underway. He several times tried to delay proceedings, saying that he had certain medical conditions, he wasn't fit mentally to stand trial, but ultimately trial did get underway. Leischwick representing himself, but did end up with that conviction of first-degree intentional homicide. Going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk, here to bring you the very latest on the fire that happened at that building that was under construction in West Allis. Let's give you a live look right now. Smoke still lingering in the air right now after that fire happened. It has since been contained, according to the city of West Allis. They gave us a release not too long ago detailing what exactly happened here. So the fire started around 10:30. This was the site of the future DPW building for West Allis and West Milwaukee. It's near 53rd and Rogers. The exact intersection, though, is at Burnham there in West Allis. We know this was a 3-alarm fire. There were construction workers on site right there on the roof. Actually, when the fire started, they were able to evacuate safely and nobody was injured. Again, we know that this building, the future DPW building, is supposed to open later this year. We don't know how this fire will impact the delays, but let's play some sound that we heard earlier from the Assistant Chief Armando Suarez Del Real from the West Allis Fire Department. Talking a little bit, this was when the fire was still active. Again, we do know it has since been contained, but just giving some information about what officials do know happened.
We just got reports of fire from the soon-to-be the under-construction DPW building. We had fast response crews on scene quickly. There are no reports of any injuries. Firefighters or civilians or workers that had been on site. Due to the volume of the fire, it's still ongoing right now, but due to the volume, it was upgraded to a 3rd alarm. So we are actively working on extinguishing. As far as origin, as far as cause, we're not sure. It's still active firefighting going on. So that's all we know at this point.
How many people on the property, inside, on the roof, around it when the fire started?
That number is not known right now.
What's the extent of the damage?
We're not sure yet. It's still active fire being fought.
Were these all construction workers here?
Assumably, yes.
It looks like it's concentrated on the roof here. Can you talk about whatever?
We did have reports of smoke and fire on the roof. As far as the exact details, we're not 100% for sure at this time.
How many stations tell us what's burning? What materials are burning?
We're not 100% for sure at this time. It's still active fire scene.
How many stations are here to help on this?
Well, you have all of the city of West Allis obviously here, and then we have our shared service partners. I saw Greenfield. I know Wauwatosa's here, the city of Milwaukee. As far as the full extent of who's here, I couldn't tell you at this time.
We had an issue about a year ago where there was a foundation issue with this building. Is that a possible contributing factor, or just more broadly, what can you say about the fact that there's now a second significant issue at this property?
At this point, we don't. Those details are not known right now.
Who called in the fire? How was the department alerted to it?
We're not sure at this time.
What is this building?
This building is going to be the future site of the DPW for City of West Allis, West Milwaukee.
Any injuries at this time?
No injuries at this time to firefighters or civilians that we know of.
Do you have any past responses here to this property?
That's something we can get you. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't be able to tell you that right now.
So you can't tell us if it's construction materials burning? You can't tell us what is burning on the roof?
Well, without having a sheet of exactly what everything's in there, I couldn't tell you exactly what's burning. Right now, as you can imagine, I have not been anywhere close to the inside of the building, so I wouldn't know what's involved at this time, other than that we had reports that there was a fire on the roof.
Can you tell us about the effort in a building of this size and how difficult this might be?
Well, this is a massive effort. This is something that's going to require a lot of neighboring departments to help us out with. Obviously, our department itself has limited capabilities based on number of units. So when you have a fire that's this size, it's going to require a lot of extra help. As you can see, you have different departments with their ladders up, and obviously different companies walking around here. So.
And what is the impact to the neighborhood here, the businesses, the homes? Are you monitoring that, hoping it doesn't spread at all?
Yeah, I don't think that there's any risk of it spreading right now. I think they have it pretty well contained. They are still working on active fire, but as far as the danger to the community, I think that they're safe at this time.
What are the differences in fighting a fire like this that is still under construction site on a large property versus, say, a residential structure fire?
I think with anything like that, you're going to have increased, difficulty in fighting fire just based on size, right? You're going to need more companies, more crews, more improvised tactics and whatnot. So this is a big effort that's going on right now.
Is the majority of the fire on the roof in the building?
We're not sure at this time.
Is there
right
fire
now? Right now, the fire's still underway. They're still fighting fire at this time. We got nothing else for you guys. Thank you guys.
All right, we do know that this was earlier right there, just to be clear. This is around 11:30 right now, but this is what the scene looks like now. That fire, we do know, now contained. Again, that was an earlier video right there from the assistant fire chief with the West Allis Fire Department talking a little bit about the operations. Again, still a lot of unknowns there. We did get that update from the city of West Allis talking a little bit about what happened there. We still don't know how the fire started. We know that a lot of it seemed to be concentrated on the roof. We don't know if it started there or what exactly led up to it, and also what the future of this building will be. Again, as we know, as we've been saying, it was the construction site of the future DPW building for West Allis and West Milwaukee, supposed to open later this year. So we don't know if that timeline has now been shifted backwards now that the fire happened. Still a lot of things that we're working to find out. But once we get updates, we'll bring it to you right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We did hear from some witnesses, though. We're at the scene at the peak of the fire. Our Ashley Sears spoke with somebody who's actually on their way back from a doctor's appointment. Let's take a listen.
Over at a doctor's office over on 43rd, Miller Parkway, right over there on the corner. And as we were coming out, we actually saw fire shooting out of the top of the building, such a gigantic, like solid black plume. And at that time, we could tell there was like no fire response quite yet because it was still black. So, I mean, we were just really worried, hoping nobody got hurt or anything. We could literally see the flames shooting out of the top of the building as well. Wow. It's pretty crazy. So,
do you live over here, or did you just come to check it out then?
No, actually, I mean, I was over for a doctor's visit over on Miller Parkway, but I actually live over by 76th Street.
Okay.
So,
and to see it now, I mean, how long did you see those flames shooting out?
10, 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes about, I'd say safely if we want to 100% it. So
it seems like they got it under control pretty quickly.
yeah, they did. That was pretty crazy because, yeah, we saw the black and it was just straight black, and then all of a sudden we started seeing it turn to gray, which is how, usually if it's being, they're putting water on it and stuff. So, yeah, like I said, a lot of our biggest concerns was just making sure nobody got hurt.
And hearing that no one did, I mean...
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad nobody got hurt. I'm glad they were able to get here. I do find it interesting that it's the DPW that started on fire.
Under construction.
Under construction as well, yeah. So I guess we'll see how that's going to go from there.
Are you a West Allis resident? I'm sorry, you said...
I did grow up in West Allis,
okay.
yeah.
So this building was supposed to open this year.
That's what I heard. Another gentleman down the street was telling me they invested $60 million in this thing. So let's hope that all that safety stuff is going to pay off in the end. So I was actually over at a doctor's office.
So again, that was a witness there talking about the fire that we saw. This is what it looks like now. Again, West Allis, the city, confirming that it has been contained. No injuries were reported, but we are getting a little bit of a closer look at the damage here. Our Skyfox drone flew over just about an hour ago, showing a little bit about what the scene looked like there. If we can get that drone video pulled up, we can go to it really quickly before we do have to take a break. But again, the important thing that we know is that there were no injuries reported. This is the video that we're seeing right here. So it's hard to tell the difference a little bit. Our reporter Ashley Sears bringing up a good point there, saying that since this was a construction site, it's hard to tell what's part of the damage and what's part of the construction, but you can see charred pieces of the roof there as firefighters work to hose things down. If we actually have been taking a look outside right now too, we actually have been seeing some people working with that hose as well, but we do know the fire is contained and that there currently is not a threat to the public. Again, we also talked with the mayor of West Allis, Dan Devine, talking a little bit about the site being the DPW building and saying that it is pretty disheartening to see that this is the building that did catch fire because it was such an exciting development for the city here. Again, supposed to open later this year. We don't know whether the timeline of that will be affected, but once we learn more, we'll be sure to bring it to you right here on the Live Desk. Going to take a quick break now, but we'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with me.
The Wisconsin Live Desk.
It's 1:20 on your Thursday afternoon. Thanks for being with us here on Fox Local. And if you're tuning in now, you're going to want to tune in tomorrow morning because we have a new thing that we're doing here on Wake Up, the Fox 6 Morning Kickoff Live. So exciting. We're kicking things off literally at South Milwaukee High School tomorrow morning. As you can see, Rob Haswell, Donovan Long, Brian Cramp going to be out there. And we are joined by one of the men themselves, Donovan. Thanks so much for being here on the Live Desk.
Happy to be here. Happy to talk about this. I'm so excited about this this inaugural event we're getting ready to debut tomorrow.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about it because I'm super excited for it, but some people tuning in for the first time might be like, what's going on here?
Yeah, so this is called our Fox 6 kickoff. We've been planning it for the past couple of weeks here, and we are excited. The team and I are excited to elevate not only the school, but like the students who attend at South Milwaukee High School, the people who work there, like the teachers, the staff members, coaches. And so each of us, myself, Brian Cramp, and Rob Haswell, our chief meteorologist in the morning, are going to be out there from 6 to 8:30 tomorrow morning at South Milwaukee High School to really just rally the troops, as they get ready to take on their biggest rival, the Cudahy Packers. So, Maddie, this is really cool because this rivalry dates back to 1922, so 100 years now. And essentially, it's their rivalry game is called the Battle of the Hammer. And the hammer is this quite literally moving trophy that goes between either Cudahy or South Milwaukee, depending on who wins the game. Right now, the hammer is with South Milwaukee. It has been since 2023 when they defeated Cudahy, I believe, 44-8. So we're going to see if South Milwaukee can retain the hammer or not, if they have to give it up tomorrow night.
I was going to say 44-8. Oh my gosh.
It was kind of nasty back then.
Oh my, yeah, they're probably coming out for blood now. I was going to say.
They are coming out strong for sure.
What does the hammer look? I'm trying to picture this right now. Is this like a regular sized hammer or like a massive
it's
one?
Like this pretty massive hammer that's in this display case in the athletic part of the school. And it stays there until this rivalry comes back around every year. And the athletic director is going to bring it out. So we'll be able to hold it and see it and kind of show it off tomorrow morning. Independent of showing that off, we're showing off some stories that highlight some students. Like particularly for me, I'm highlighting this, which is one of my favorite stories I found there. This coach, this high school track and cross country coach has been coaching at that school, South Milwaukee, for 55 years. Oh, wow. He is a legend around that campus, and you'll see why when you hear from him tomorrow. But he is 79 years old, stopped hurdling at 70, and I asked him, like, hey, why are you still here? You could be kicking your feet up on the sofa out on the beach, catching some sun rays. He says, this is where I want to be. He says, I love the kids, the coaches, the staff members. I love what I do. He's fit. He goes to exercise 5 days a week. He says, I feel 40 years old, and when you see him, you'll see why.
Oh, I bet. I need to get all those secrets then. That's so exciting.
Yeah, for you and me both.
Yeah, and also just speaks a little bit to the community aspect of that school if he's been there for that long. So are you going to be surrounded by students tomorrow? Where are you going to be actually at the high school?
I'm going to be on the field. I'm going to be surrounded by high school students, the football team, some of the members of the football team anyway, the band, the cheerleaders, teachers, staff members. The athletic director was estimating about 250 students alone will be there tomorrow morning. And keep this in mind, they're not even in school yet.
I was going to ask
the excitement
that, yeah.
is building. They are thrilled. That kind of goes to show you how excited they are. Like they're not even getting up for class. They are still enjoying what's left of summer, but they're still willing to come and celebrate their school with us tomorrow morning from 6 to 8:30.
Yeah, because when I was in high school, the last thing I wanted to do was get up early, but I feel like
100%. 6 a.m. seemed like it was too early to be somewhere when we were that young.
I was going to say, I can't remember the last time I've woken up at 6 a.m. I know you're up much earlier than that for work.
Unfortunately, I'm up at 2 o'clock every morning. So getting to work a little bit later, starting at 5, an hour before game time, show time for us anyway, is going to feel like I'm sleeping in.
A luxury for sure.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. Excited to hear more about the coach, especially you were telling that story. Anything else you're looking forward to tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got 2 other stories. One of them highlighting these 2 football players who are not only teammates, but they're castmates. Maddie, they went from the football field to the auditorium stage. They are into theater. They've done productions together, and they are going to continue doing that on into this upcoming school year. They're going to try out for Frozen together. Also going to try out for another production called Mr. Burns, which has something to do with The Simpsons. And so, yeah, they're kind of wanting to defy the stereotype that football players don't do theater, and they're wanting to bridge the gap between the two and encourage other classmates to get out of their comfort zone, try something new. In fact, one of the guys said he learned he could actually sing and sing well by being involved in the theater production that he was involved in last fall. So loving to tell that story. And there's one other young lady who's a track star standout. I mean, this young lady is a beast on the track. Arguably, maybe the next Sha'Carri Richardson, the next Olympian. So we'll see. She is a game changer when it comes to track. But I'm excited to introduce you to those students and the others who will meet us there tomorrow morning, bright and early.
When you're talking about the players who are also in theater, I was thinking of High School Musical immediately.
Same difference, right? That is a great comparison. But instead of what basketball, I think in High School Musical, it's just football. This time in real life.
I'm so excited to hear these stories. And also I love it because I know football, it gets a lot of hype and for good reason in high school, but also so important to highlight the other extracurriculars as well. As you mentioned, the girl who does track as well. So hopefully those kids have a lot of coffee ready to go for tomorrow. I'm going to be so excited to tune in.
Them and me both. I'm going to be caffeine overload at this point for tomorrow.
Hopefully good energy too. It'll keep you awake and everything. Donovan, thanks so much for joining us on the live desk. So great to chat with you. I feel like we never get to because our shifts don't overlap. So this is awesome.
I know. I'm so glad they do today. Thank you for having me. Such a pleasure seeing you on the team as well.
Of course. Thanks, Donovan. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Again, taking a look right here. Morning kickoff. Donovan said from 6 o'clock things start off. I can't believe those kids. Shout out to you if your kids or maybe you're a student watching right now. Actually, you're probably in school right now. But shout out to you guys for getting up so early. I mean, 6 a.m. I remember I lived right next to my high school. And school started, I think, at 7:30. Sometimes I wouldn't get up till 7:15. And then I would drive to school. Delaney's laughing. Were you in the same boat?
I did the same thing. School started at 7:45, and I think I woke up at 7:30.
Yep. No, I was the same way. Sometimes I was on my cheerleading team in high school. We would have I was the team captain, so we'd have to get up at 6:40 or have meetings at 6:45, and those were days I was roughing it because I'd have to get up at 6:30, 15 minutes prior to that. But gosh, I can't. Well, actually, I want to say I can't imagine last time I woke up that early. But Delaney, we wake up pretty early though, because we have to be here at 8. So I get up at 6:30.
Yeah, I get up at 6:30.
Try to. Sometimes
closer to 7.
Sometimes closer to 7 for sure. But such a cool series. I'm so excited to see them all out there and see the kids. Honestly, it's cool to see that they're all so excited about it as well, just as much as we are here in the newsroom, and to hear all those stories. I mean, I'm so excited, especially to hear about the football players who are in the theater. I'm literally getting High School Musical vibes. So looking forward to that, again, starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow. We are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll have a look at your forecast in just a bit, so stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
It is 1:30. Thanks for being with us here on Fox Local. We were just talking with Donovan Long about the Fox 6 morning kickoff tomorrow. It's at South Milwaukee High School. He's going to be joined by Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell as well as Brian Cramp. So exciting. Things start at 6 a.m. and we're hoping for some good weather for that. So we're going to check in with our meteorologist, Stephanie Barkello, in just a little bit now. But I did not realize this is a new thing for us. And I'm so excited to see how it all plays out. But it sounds like the students are super excited as well to get out there. Donovan said that they're going to be waking up before school even starts to be out there on the field with the trio that we got here to just show off a little bit of their school spirit and what their high school is all about. And again, this goes so much beyond just football. They're going to be talking to coaches, people on the track team, different extracurriculars, so something you're definitely not going to want to miss. And I'm sure a lot of parents of these students will be tuning in as well. And as I was saying, hoping for some good weather for tomorrow. Stephanie Barkello with a perfectly beautiful forecast talking about exactly what we're discussing here.
Tomorrow's the big day, right? This is so exciting. Normally we talk about the high school blitz, later on in Friday evening, which we're still doing that, of course, as well. This is just a nice little addition to kick off your Friday morning. Now, first and foremost, there is rain, there is thunder in Friday's forecast. The morning hours do not look as favorable for thunder as the afternoon and evening. Could still have a few sprinkles or a light shower or two. I know this graphic is showing maybe the 8 a.m. hour. I wouldn't be surprised if it held off actually a little bit later. So overall, I think our time tomorrow morning in the field will be okay, but I'm sure our crew will have that umbrella as a backup. So again, this is just morning hours. Tomorrow's going to be a little warmer. It's going to be a bit stickier, and we do have the chance for another round of thunderstorms, especially towards the afternoon and evening, and it's all thanks to this next storm system that's towards the northwest. Today's going to be just fine. High pressure is still with us. It's sunny, but notice how this warm front is creeping in, so that's going to allow dew points to climb a little bit more, temperatures tomorrow to climb a little bit more, but because of the cloud cover and the on and off chance of showers and storms, temperatures will likely fluctuate a little bit. You can see that there is a bit of activity out west in Minnesota right now, so it's quite a bit of ways away still, but something we're watching for tomorrow. The rest of this Thursday, the sunshine continues. We'll start to see some cloud cover later on tonight. I know there are a few football games already tonight, which is crazy, but as we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll start to have the chance for just a few of these light, spotty showers. Notice, however, as we get to about midday and into the early afternoon, we start to see a bit more organization. Now, this isn't going to be a huge cluster of storms that's widespread and steady all day long. These are going to be scattered showers and thunderstorms. So we will have dry time from time to time, but essentially the chance for storms all the way through your later Friday night. So Friday night games, still something to pay attention to weather-wise. But going into the afternoon, this is around 3:30, 4 p.m. You can still see some activity out there. Same with your dinner hour, and then maybe finally that last round later Friday night after about 7 or 8 p.m. That'll be with the cold front. Now, we can't completely rule out a couple of stronger storms tomorrow. We were actually just added into a marginal risk, which is not too shocking. I do think this is overall a somewhat weaker system compared to what we had on Tuesday. And I hate comparing to Tuesday because this will be a different situation. But because we're going to still have some slightly higher dew points in comparison to, of course, today and yesterday, we're going to have a front moving through. It is possible that we have a few stronger and not even out of the question to have a stray severe storm tomorrow afternoon. Not worried about the morning, but tomorrow afternoon and evening as that front gets a little bit closer to us. So here's the new edition of that marginal risk for southeast Wisconsin. Today, with that system out west, there is actually a slight risk in parts of Minnesota as well as Iowa. So I do think we'll watch for that tomorrow. Not saying it's going to happen, but once again, because this is a storm system, the front itself is going to move in later today, or later tomorrow, excuse me, just something we'll need to pay attention to as we go throughout your Friday. But again, morning hours for our awesome coverage. I think just a spotty light shower or two, and then we'll really focus on the afternoon and evening. So game time itself going to maybe be a little dicey, but because these are going to be so hit or miss, some will be okay, some will have a little bit of rain and a little bit of thunder, Maddie.
Hoping it misses the football field there so they can have a good
Me
game
too.
tomorrow. It seems like a big matchup. You know what I was just thinking about, Steph, actually, is remember when you were on, it wasn't yesterday, the day before?
Tuesday, yeah.
And I told you I had plans to go for a walk?
Did you go?
Well, no.
Oh, okay, good. I don't know.
Imagine if I did. Well, I remember my friend was like there to pick me up, and then all of a sudden I had the Storm Center app, and it had the notification of the tornado warning, and I was like, oh my gosh, we cannot go on this walk. So thankfully we just ended up getting dinner, but I was thinking about that. But it goes to show, like, things change every second, and I'm glad you advised me to probably not go on the walk and that it didn't go, but I had the Storm Center app, and it'll be good to have it tomorrow as well. So thanks for joining us on the live desk. We are going to take a quick break here, but before we do that right now, we're going to take you out to the Milwaukee County Courthouse right now. Let's take a listen.
4026. Count 1, substantial battery. Es por agresión sustancial. This is the initial appearance. Es una cita inicial. Counsel's been given a copy of the criminal complaint. This case is assigned before Judge Kiefer, Branch 29. $2,500 cash bail has been posted. Appearances, please.
88 Jaroszewski for the state.
Angel Garcia Santibáñez appears in person with attorney Leonardo Espinosa Jimenez. The contact information on the criminal complaint is accurate. We have already went over the criminal complaint with the defendant, and we would waive the. And we would formally like to waive the formal reading.
I think we need to swear in the interpreter. Do you solemnly swear to interpret from Spanish to English, English to Spanish, to the best of your ability, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is State Certified Interpreter Darius Torres. That's Dariustorres.
Thank you very much, everyone. Mr. Garcia Santibáñez, I've received a copy of the criminal complaint filed in your case. In it, you're charged with 1 felony count, substantial battery. If convicted as charged, you could be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned for not more than 3 years and 6 months, or both. I've reviewed the criminal complaint. I do find it states probable cause within the 4 corners to support that charge. You have the right in this case to further challenge probable cause at a preliminary hearing. And if you wish to have that, we would preserve that right and schedule that for you. But I am in receipt of this document, a form that indicates to me that you and your attorney have discussed your preliminary hearing rights and you wish to waive those today. I'm going to go through the form and discuss that decision with you. It looks like your signature towards the bottom of the page. Did you sign this document?
Yes.
And before you signed the document, did you go through it with your attorney and with the interpreter present?
Oh, yes.
Did you read the form, or was it read to you by your attorney, or a little bit of both?
Both of us read it.
Thank you. I ask and need to note it's written in English, so I need to make sure that someone went through all of the questions and information on the form with you. And counsel, your signature appears on the bottom of the form, indicating to me that you did go through the entire contents of the form with your client in Spanish and answered any questions that he has. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the form, I'm told that you are 24 years old and have completed 12 years of schooling. Is that correct? I need you to say, thank you. I'm told you've never been committed to a mental institution as mentally ill or incompetent. Is that correct? It's a horrible question. Have you, counsel, I need to go through the form with him, so I appreciate, and I don't want to stop you from talking to him, but especially with the interpreter, I'll re-ask the question, and then if he's got questions. Fair enough?
Yeah,
thank you.
I also know Spanish, that's why.
So, Mr. Garcia Santibanez, have you ever been committed to a mental institution as mentally ill or incompetent?
Un centro psicológico le había determinado que usted no tiene la aptitud legal. I've never been placed inside any type of mental institution. No.
Thank you.
Está bien, gracias.
I need to make sure that you understand at a preliminary hearing, the state would produce witnesses and perhaps other evidence to show that you probably committed a felony or felonies. You understand that would be the purpose of the preliminary hearing. Do you understand that that's the purpose of a preliminary hearing?
For the other case? I don't really understand that.
Counsel, I'll be blunt. I'm not feeling super comfortable that he's super clear what the waiver preliminary hearing is.
No me siento muy bien cómodo precisamente de que realmente comprendo lo que es la renuncia a decir no hacia la audiencia preliminar.
And it might just be moving a little quick.
Tal vez esté pasando un poco rápidamente.
We'll just hold the preliminary hearing another date then. Thank you.
Solamente vamos a mantener abierto el secretario el derecho para solicitar para que programe una audiencia preliminar. Por eso. Por ende.
We'll do that, and at the very least, you'll have some more time to think about that and answer any questions he might have.
Yes.
So, Mr. Garcia Santibanez, you have the right to further challenge probable cause, and whether it exists in this case. That's a preliminary hearing. We'll schedule that before the close of today's court date. You'll have more time to talk with your attorney about what you wish to do on that date. Thank you. You have the right in this case to be represented by an attorney. You've hired counsel. He's here with you today. I expect he'll be at all future court appearances. It is your right to be represented. Based upon the nature of the charge, a sample of your DNA should have been obtained upon your arrest. That's where law enforcement would have taken like a Q-tip and swabbed your cheeks. I'm going to order the sheriff's department confirm that that was obtained. If not, they'll line up getting a sample of DNA. And I'll advise you at this time, you may qualify to have that DNA sample data expunged if you meet the conditions of the statutes. Whether you qualify or not, you can talk more with your attorney or the court as the case moves forward. State, what is your position as to bail?
The state's going to be requesting that the amount posted be continued for a no contact order with the victim, LR, and that Mr. Garcia Santibanez maintain absolute sobriety.
A couple of questions. I'm inclined to add the location Beto's Pizza.
I'm sorry, what was that, Your Honor?
Sorry. I'm inclined to add the location Beto's Pizza
Beto's Pizza
onto the no contact order. Does the state know anything that would be a request not to?
Beto's Pizza, la pizzeria de Beto's, la cual el Estado está solicitando.
It doesn't look like that was requested, but given the allegations in the criminal complaint, I think that would be appropriate.
And with regards to absolute sobriety, to me that means no alcohol. I'm assuming it's believed it was part of the issue that led to the incident. Am I understanding that request correctly?
Yes, Commissioner.
Counsel Esteban.
No objection to maintaining the $2,500 bail that was already paid. Or the conditions.
Mr. Garcia Santibanez, when I review this complaint, it's very concerning. In setting bail, there are two major goals. Number one, I need to make sure that you are coming back to court for all future court appearances. You can't miss court. I also need to make sure that you follow the conditions of bail that I set so as to protect the community. Given the allegations in the complaint, I'm going to continue the cash bail that was posted, $2,500 cash. I'm going to order as a condition of your bail absolute sobriety, no alcohol at any time while this case is pending. I'm ordering as a condition of your bail, you can't have any contact in any way with either the person initials LR, the alleged victim, and Beto's Pizza. So you can't go to that location or be in the same place as that person, LR. It also means no communication or attempts to communicate in any other way. You can't, for example, call or email or post on social media to communicate or pass along messages through your friends or family. Lastly, I believe it's appropriate, I'm going to order as a condition of your bail that you not possess any firearms or dangerous weapons while this case is pending. I know it's not alleged in the complaint, however, this is an allegation of violence on a felony level and becomes a much bigger danger to the community if there's any possession of firearms or dangerous weapons. Any questions? We'll get you a date. Good luck to you. We are setting it for prelim, sorry. Thank you.
State any off groups or shifts?
Off group 3, mornings preferred.
Council, she's going to be aiming for 10 days because of the cash. Are you okay with that? Or?
No.
Sorry.
No.
August 26th through the 31st.
Do you have a preference, Council?
He said, what time would you be looking at?
8:30.
8:30. I think the Friday works.
Tuesday, is that
August 28th?
That's 28th, sorry.
Next court date will be August 28th at 8:30. The preliminary court for preliminary hearing. Thank you. Take care.
All right, this is live right now in the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Cash bond is set for the man charged in the attack outside of a pizza shop. This was his initial appearance. We know that his next court date, his preliminary hearing, will be August 28th right there. The man on your screen that you see walking out right now, I actually might listen in just in case we don't, just to make sure we don't miss anything here.
So make a note that it's a 4-0 no. Firearms, dangerous weapons.
Looks like that is wrapping up right there. Again, the man that you just saw on your screen is Angel Garcia Santibanez. He is the man charged in this attack at Beto's Pizza that happened last week. So again, to give you some insight as to what this case is really about. So a man was attacked outside of a pizza shop on Milwaukee's south side. It happened earlier this month right now. Again, the 24-year-old on your screen is charged with substantial battery. Court filing said that he admitted to that attack here. So just for some background, in a Facebook post, the restaurant's owner shared video of a person inside. The same person was later seen on video from outside the shop running up behind the victim and repeatedly punching and kicking him in the face. Court filing said a police officer watched the Beto's Pizza video and recognized the suspect as Garcia Santibanez. Once in custody, Garcia Santibanez identified himself in the video and admitted to striking the victim multiple times and said, quote, he knew he was in the wrong. The victim then taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Family did identify that victim as 43-year-old Lawrence Rauch and shared a photo of his injuries and started a GoFundMe to help cover those medical expenses. We are not going to show you that photo here on the Wisconsin Live Desk because it is very graphic showing those injuries. The complaint said Rauch suffered a fractured skull, broken nose, and concussion, and he needed stitches. He also lost consciousness after the attack, but when he woke up, walked a few blocks and called the police. So this is a story that we've been following now since the attack happened on August 12th. Again, a criminal complaint said prior to the attack, employees and the victim had asked a man to leave. He initially refused, but then later left the shop. This is the Beto's Pizza near 16th and Greenfield. Again, happened on August 12th, just after 9:30 at night. So he is, again, charged with substantial battery. His next court appearance will be August 28th for the preliminary hearing to see if there is enough evidence to take this case to trial. We are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, but we'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
At the bottom of the 1 o'clock hour here. Thanks for being with us here on Fox Local. Let's give you a live look right now from our downtown cam. Crews still responding to a fire at the future DPW building in West Allis. Again, the fire has been contained according to the city as well as fire officials. This was a 3-alarm fire. It happened around 10:30 this morning. We're just getting our first look at the damage here, but things a lot calmer now, but this is what it looked like around the time when the fire did start here. You can see plumes of black smoke here as we take a look. Again, 3-alarm fire. This was the DPW facility construction site, or rather the future site. It was expected to open later this year. It was going to serve West Allis and West Milwaukee here. As you can see, a little bit cut off on the left side of your screen, the fire hose trying to put out the flames here. Again, the city of West Allis says that the fire department got there within just a few minutes and it started to put this out, able to get it out in just about an hour there. But as you can see, this is a live look now. The smoke still lingering right there. I'm wondering if I can get a side-by-side actually of what we're seeing here. Oh, I wasn't ready for that, so I guess we cannot. But just taking a look back and forth here, as we can see, this is what it looked like earlier, and then this is what it looks like now as we take a live look. This is, again, at 53rd and Burnham near Rogers, if you're more familiar with that street in West Allis. Again, we know this was a 3-alarm fire. We know no injuries were reported, which is good, and there is no threat to the public, even though you still see that smoke lingering in the air. Again, we don't know how this fire started. We know a lot of it was concentrated to the roof, actually. We did get some drone video of that I'm actually going to work to pull up for us right now. But so there's a lot that we don't know about the fire so far, and it's actually up right now because our awesome producer Delaney did it for me. But as you can see right here, a lot of damage done, looks like to the roof. Again, it's not clear how much because this is a construction site and this was under construction. So the difference here between, what was maybe damage from the fire versus what was just construction, we still don't know. And we don't know the scale of this and the impact, but we do know this fire was pretty big. I mean, 3-alarm, that's a decent scale there. As we take a look, this is the drone video that we were able to fly over and see. Again, you can see crews out there hosing down some of the stuff on the roof there, some of the parts. The building's supposed to open later this year. We don't know if the timeline will now be pushed back because of this fire. We spoke with West Allis Mayor Dan Devine talking a little bit about it, saying there's still a lot of unknowns with this about whether this will impact the opening of the building as well as the budget for years to come. So once we get more updates, we'll be sure to bring them to you, but nobody was injured. We know that construction workers were on the roof at the time, but again, we're able to evacuate safely and the fire is now under control. Despite the smoke you might be seeing in the air right now as we take a live look at this, but when we get any updates, we'll be sure to bring them to you here on the live desk. Let's see what else we can recap today as we approach the top of the 2 o'clock hour here. One thing that we know is that the man convicted of killing his neighbor was sentenced today. That's Kevin Leishwick. We spoke with Brett Lemoyne. He was sentenced to life in prison. He was charged and convicted of first-degree intentional homicide, which comes with an automatic life in prison sentence. We know we brought you a lot of this trial right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We were streaming it for you. Several setbacks in the trial. We know that Kevin Leishwick, the man now sentenced, that he represented himself in this case, tried to delay several proceedings, saying that he was unfit to withstand trial, that he had pointed to several medical injuries as well. The judge often calling Leishwick's behavior antics and things like that of nature, but the trial did end up following through, and he did face that conviction and now that life sentence. Brett said it was an emotional moments there in the courtroom today as several members of the victim's family, Carlos Maldonado, his family speaking there. Again, we know that Leishwick and Carlos Maldonado were next door neighbors. They lived right next to each other. We know that Kevin Leishwick was convicted of killing him and then hiding the body, which wasn't found until weeks later underneath a tarp in the woods nearby of their apartment building. So a very disturbing case there. If you want to dig deeper into this, I know this had garnered a lot of attention on social media. I actually posted myself a TikTok from some of the court proceedings of Leishwick having one of those so-called outbursts, according to the judge, talking about how he could not withstand trial. It still gets traction to this day because this case is so fascinating in all the wrong ways here, just from start to finish from what we've been seeing. Brett Lemoyne doing a great job of covering that. Hopefully the family is able to get some closure today. Brett also mentioned that Leischwick did speak at his own sentencing hearing, say that he apologizes that Maldonado is dead, but still claims that he did not do it and that he's never killed anyone for that matter. So we are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be right back, though, in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
It's the top of the 2 o'clock hour here. Thanks for being with us on Fox Local. Let's give you a quick live look outside right now. Pretty gorgeous out there, sitting at 75 degrees right now. Sun is shining ahead of a hopefully very sunny weekend. I know we checked in with our meteorologist, Stephanie Barrichello, saying we might see some storms later tomorrow night, but hoping to stay dry for those of you who might have plans. Plenty of to do in Milwaukee this weekend, especially if you're maybe a college alum of UW-Madison. We know Badgers, maybe not the best in football right now, but they actually are one of the best in women's volleyball, and that's ahead of the American Volleyball Coaches Association tournament that's happening tomorrow at Pfizer Forum. Something you can definitely check out throughout the weekend. I'm joined now by Jamie Gordon, the CEO of the organization. Thanks so much for being with us on the live desk today.
Hey, Maddie, thanks for having me.
So final preparations underway for this tournament tomorrow. Talk a little bit about what people can expect.
Yeah, it's going to be some of the best volleyball in the country right now in an amazing facility of Pfizer Forum. And then in front of some of the most passionate fans, all of your Badger fans, but also, this is a really strong volleyball community. So I think it gives everybody an opportunity to come out and see a host of different teams that are really kicking off to what we anticipate to be an incredibly exciting and competitive volleyball season.
So what can fans expect? And that's what's so cool about it too, is it's like, even if you're not a Badgers fan, this lineup is incredible of teams here. Are you expecting a lot of people coming from all over the country here to be at this tournament?
Yeah, we do. I think we'll have fans from all of the like fan bases from these institutions. So we've got, schools from Arizona State, Texas, University of Texas. We've got Louisville, Kentucky. So really coming in from all over the place. But then, as you mentioned, just general volleyball fans. We're seeing an incredible explosion of the sport, the participation level. So we, as we've sold tickets, we've got a lot of people from the Chicagoland coming up, but also nationally. I think this has kind of grown into kind of a great holiday opportunity for volleyball fans and volleyball nuts to really, get a good fix. We've got 8 of the top 12 teams in the country that are joining us this weekend.
Super exciting. One of the things I love too about events at Fiserv Forum is the way that the stadium just kind of transforms for the events that it has. Talk a little bit about what preparations are underway for people when they walk into the stadium tomorrow.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see is the sport of volleyball produced and framed at its highest level. We've got top level lighting and production, but also the technology associated with it. So we will have a system of cameras and computers very similar to what you might see at Wimbledon or the US Open, where there's electronic line calling, so we're able to track the speed of the ball, the location of the ball. So it's really a cool opportunity for somebody to just see, the sport presented at its highest level.
And I know you talked a little bit about the teams that are actually going to be playing throughout this weekend. If we're getting a little technical here, can you talk a little bit about the statistical side of things with these matchups that are coming up?
Yeah, you have. So we've got all 4 teams that competed in the Final Four last year, which was Wisconsin, Kentucky, Texas A&M, and Pitt. So we'll be seeing a rematch of Wisconsin's final game in the semifinals, which was just an incredible match against the University of Kentucky. So not only do we also have some of the top teams, but we've got some of the top players in this event. So we have 17 of the top 30 players in the country, including our 2-time defending National Player of the Year, Olivia Babcock. So if you can't find a team to get behind, there are definitely opportunities to get behind these individual amazing athletes. And the Fiserv Forum is such a first-class facility, so it's really appropriate that we're showcasing this level of volleyball at such a tremendous venue.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'd mentioned too, even if you're not married to one team or the other, the atmosphere itself just sounds pretty exciting. I'm on the website right now and I'm seeing it says your chance to win the best seats in the house. Can you talk a little bit about that opportunity?
Yeah, we encourage. We've got a whole lot of different promotions, which is including, that chance to come sit courtside. There is no better place to truly appreciate these dynamic athletes and the way that they're jumping, the power and speed of the game, than being kind of right there. And we've done that intentionally. The fans are as close to the court as possible. The way that it's shown. So yeah, we encourage people to enter those sweepstakes, but even just come. We'll have a couple of upgrades and fun things for fans and at all ages, from men, women, kids. It's really something that I think everybody will find something to enjoy.
Yeah, super exciting, especially that we get to have it right in the heart of downtown Milwaukee. For people still wanting to maybe get tickets for this weekend, can you talk about where they can go to do that?
Yeah, you can visit Fiserv Forum. You can go to our website at abca.org, or just go through Ticketmaster. You just do a normal Google search and you'll find a place to buy tickets.
Awesome. Jamie, thank you so much for joining us here on the live desk. Anything else you want to add before we let you go?
No, just really encourage people to give it a shot. And Maddie, thanks for the opportunity to share our event with all of your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Especially sounds like so much fun. Volleyball, I played in high school. It can get intense out there, so it's definitely one to watch out for, no matter who you're rooting for. Thanks for joining us.
Well, then we'll count on you seeing you either tomorrow or Saturday.
Yes, maybe sitting courtside. Maybe I'll enter the.
There you go. I've got a couple seats held back. We can definitely take good care of you.
Awesome. All right, Jamie, thanks so much. We'll be in touch for sure. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. So many fun things happening in Milwaukee this weekend, including that tournament. So definitely going to want to keep an eye out for what's happening and what's going on. We're going to do a quick recap of your weekend planner in just a little bit here. We're going to take that quick break, though. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
It is 2:12 on your Thursday afternoon. Thanks for being with us here on Fox Local. Going to take you out right now to New York, actually, where officials are talking about an alleged bomb threat for the New York State Capitol. So let's take a listen in.
Signify there needs to be better security anywhere. The governor released a statement saying that security was recently bolstered in the state capitol and state agencies. Was this a result of that, or what would you say to that?
Well, I can't really get into that piece of the investigation, but I could say this, okay? Whoever is against having those cameras, what are they called, Chief? Flock cameras. Think about this, of what just occurred, what we prevented, okay? If you don't have flock cameras, how are law enforcement going to detect and see somebody walking around possibly looking to blow up your state capitol or commit terrorist acts? So I would urge everybody here to contact your local leaders, your city officials, and your county leaders to tell them to increase those flock cameras here around the Capitol, especially since I just found out that the Albany Police Department is still 60 officers shy of where they should be. Okay? So talk about the funding to police. There you have it.
And is this person, how long has she lived in the city of Albany, and where is she being held?
Well, she's been, my understanding, she's been in the city of Albany for some time, maybe years, a couple of years, but she's being held in the, I think, the county jail right now. Right, Chair? She's in your jail? Schenectady. Oh, Schenectady County Jail. Next, right to your right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Samuel King, New York Public News Network. Is there any reason to believe that she acted alone in sort of this plot, or is that part of the investigation?
That is definitely part of the investigation. We are looking at all evidence that's coming in and to determine if there were other actors involved. So stay tuned. Go to the side.
You mentioned that Alex Berger, News 10. You mentioned that there was a gun supplier and also a bomb maker. Have either of those people been apprehended at this time?
Well, we're going to stick to the four corners of the complaint. So the information about the bomb and information about the gun are there in the complaint. So I would refer you back to that. Yes.
Hannah Muhammad, CBS 6. At what point did investigators realize this wasn't all talk, that Bowie truly was planning to carry out this attack? When was that kind of turn point?
I couldn't really get into when that turn point came, but I can tell you this: we had probable cause to move ahead, and the FBI did an outstanding job, along with our law enforcement partners here, in foiling this plot and apprehending this defendant. Yes.
Secretary News Channel 13, was there, I haven't gone through the whole criminal complaint yet, but was there an alleged date that this attack was supposed to be carried out? Was she planning on a specific time frame, or?
I'm going to refer you back to the four corners of the actual complaint for every bit of information on that would pertain to that question for now.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, volleyball, New York Post. Again, was there any impetus? Is there any particular time that she first popped on law enforcement's radar, or any particular incident that led to that? And was she targeting the state capitol or specifically, or was there a more particular motive, for example, a particular principal within the state capitol? You mentioned state senators. Was there a specific target beyond just the building itself?
Well, the first part of your question, again, I'm not going to get into national security, revelations of how this was detected. As I said, this serves as a chilling effect to anyone who's out there radicalized, plotting, and to our enemies as well. The second part, I'm going to refer you to the four corners of the complaint at this time. Who hasn't had it? Go ahead.
Nice to before to go. Have other state houses in the country been alerted to this plot and just to, in advance, heighten their own security or harden their own security infrastructure as a result of this?
Well, I can't speak to that directly, except for the fact that this has been widely publicized, I think nationally, and it's going to continue to be publicized throughout the media cycle. So as far as any internal specifics, I don't have anything for you.
More broadly, is there a concern that these state houses are perhaps softer targets than, say, the U.S. Capitol, which obviously has a different level of security around it?
I wouldn't be able to comment on that. Who didn't get a chance yet? Okay. Did you? Oh, I'm sorry, Corey.
Corey James, Metro News. Does this individual have a criminal history? Does not appear so.
Does not appear so. However, we got to continue to follow the evidence and see what we come up with.
Understood. One follow-up there.
Yes,
it looks like the images that were being filed through here, that the pictures were taken from Corning Tower. Will there be an increase in security around that, or will no longer be photos, anything like that?
Well, I mean, those photos were taken as part of this ongoing investigation, so I can't speak for whether or not there'll be anything continuing. That would be something I would ask. You'd have to ask the local state police or sheriff or the chief if they are going to increase anything in that area. Okay, who hasn't asked one yet? Okay, we'll go back to
just real quick. Once again, Alex Berger, News 10. You mentioned earlier that flock cameras could solve crimes like this. Were flock cameras used to track Jessica Bowie to be able to solve this?
I don't think so. What I'm saying is the flock cameras are useful to help prevent the crime from happening. Most importantly, okay, when law enforcement's monitoring things and all of a sudden they see a person mysteriously scouting out some location like the Capitol, and you see from these pictures at all times of odd times, they may want to send somebody around to keep a closer eye, right? So I think that they're definitely a useful tool. If you're not doing anything wrong and you're not committing any crimes, what do you care? I mean, you feel safer. I could tell you as a kid growing up in the 70s, we didn't have that. Our parents didn't even know where we were all day long. But we're in a different world now, where we have actual countries saying death to America, death to America. And we have people in this country advocating for that. In fact, there's politicians nationwide I've seen on the news that are not advocating for that, but supportive of certain aspects of those dialogues. So I just think it's helpful for safety and security. And people want to walk around the streets feeling safe. Yes, sorry.
Once again, it's CBS 6. At any point in the days leading up to Bowie's arrest, was security at all increased in and near the Capitol?
I'd have to defer that question to state police.
I can't really speak to what the internal policies and procedures are in notification process. What I can say is that New York State Police members assigned to the JTTF were in regular communication with uniform and BCI members from Troop G throughout the course of the investigation.
Thanks. Okay. Yes.
You mentioned.
You were with. I'm sorry. Your name.
I'm sorry. Samuel King, New York Public News Network. Once again.
Yeah.
You mentioned. It was mentioned that we're very close to anniversary of 9/11. Is there any sort of indication that there are more plots like this out there, and what are some of the efforts that you can talk about that the task force is doing to try to, contain this sort of activity in weeks before?
I'll refer this to the FBI.
Hey, thank you for the question. As I can't get into specifics, obviously this case illuminates the strength of the partnership here on the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We are working around the clock 24/7 to ensure all Americans, and we defend the homeland here and abroad. Our work never stops. This case was disrupted, and we arrested Ms. Bowie yesterday, but the work is ongoing. Our folks are working around the clock. We served search warrant. We have devices to do exploitation on. We have a lot of work ahead of this. So it seems like the arrest is the conclusion, but really it's at the beginning for the work that's ahead for our team here.
Yes.
Lisa, City and State. So I'm just curious if, seeing in the complaint that she has said multiple times that she wanted to kill senators or maximize that kind of impact, then why was she here in July? If she's from Albany, did she know that they were, what was there a confusion about? Did she not know they weren't present, or did she think that there were, did she have any mistaken of senators versus, like state senators versus U.S. senators?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but that is something that could come out as we continue this investigation further. Yes.
Does she have a family or children or a spouse? Or?
I believe she does. I believe she has. She referenced a mother that lived somewhere nearby. I think she has a child. And
All right, this is live right now in New York after the FBI arrested a woman today who they allege was plotting to attack the New York State Capitol building in Albany. The FBI alleged in a criminal complaint Thursday, so today, that Jessica Bowie, 35 years old, she pledged allegiance to ISIS online in online communications and began plotting the attack in July. Right now, we are getting an update from officials on that Capitol bomb threat. Once we get more, we will bring it to you right here on the live desk. We are going to switch gears now and take you out to a live interview happening in Milwaukee right now with the city comptroller talking about the forecast for city budgets this next year. Let's listen in.
First to do, why do it?
Sure. Well, one, I think it's recognized to be a best practice to have a forward-looking financial forecast, something that sheds light beyond just the next budget year, which is often the focus of a lot of attention here at City Hall. But I think it's important to shed light on what our decisions that are made today, what impact that could have on our future outlook as we start getting a few years out. So I worked with the council and the administration to have this codified in ordinance so that this is something that not just me sitting in this seat because I happen to be here, I'll do it as long as I can. It's, whoever happens to be sitting in this seat years down the road will be by ordinance required to renew and update this report.
Every year or every 5?
Every year.
Okay, every year for the next 5.
Right, yeah, there's going to be additional updates. We're going to review our assumptions, constantly make tweaks, make this better, make improvements, and I think we're going to possibly expand the scope of it in coming years. This looks at just the city's general fund budget. We may explore looking at the city's capital improvements budget, so that's your streets, bridges, facilities, the city's infrastructure, and evaluating the need out there compared to our ability to pay for that. But this just looks at the city's general fund forecast. This being the first year, we didn't want to bite off more than we can chew.
Keep it simple.
Exactly.
And it's funny even saying that, given how complex city budgets can be.
Right.
Generally, what did you find as far as the importance of this report pertaining to the status of the city's finances right now?
Sure. So I think the key takeaways are we're facing a structural deficit. So that means our recurring expenses are growing faster than our recurring revenues. So that budget deficit that we're facing each year is projected to grow over the life of the 5-year financial forecast. We have the ability to use our reserves. So the city has 3 main reserves. We've got our tax stabilization fund, our pension reserve, and our public debt amortization fund. And those 3 have been growing over the last 3 years. So we're in a good place with our reserves. But we have reason to believe that growth that we've seen, especially in the tax stabilization fund over the last few years, is not likely to be sustained over the future. So we don't believe that, and I think best practice would certainly agree with me on this, that using reserves to plug ongoing budget gaps is something that is going to be sustainable over the long term.
Essentially, comparing it to a family, you're not going to keep using your savings to cover your every month bills or every year bills.
That's exactly right. And the city, we've been fortunate that our our savings account, for using that analogy, has grown. But we're not going to be able to rely on our savings account growing every year and using those savings to plug our annual budget gap.
Might be nuanced, but why isn't that tax stabilization fund expected to keep growing at the rate it's growing?
So in 2024, as part of Act 12, the city got its 2% city-only sales tax. And it was our office, actually, that's responsible for developing the estimate for the sales tax. And at the time, we had data for the entire county of Milwaukee, but we didn't have data on what a 2% sales tax would bring in just the city of Milwaukee. So we had to make a lot of assumptions using a lot of imperfect data, and the last thing you want to do is overestimate your revenues and leave yourself short at the end of the year. So we made a reasonably conservative estimate for sales tax revenue in 2024, which was it was exceeded. So the amount that we ended up receiving was substantially more than what we had estimated. So that led to that, among several other factors. Generally, anytime your expenditures come in less than budgeted and your revenues come in greater than budgeted, that gets deposited to the tax stabilization fund. So that's when that fund grows. So that's what led to the growth in 2024, and 2025 was a similar story. When we estimated the sales tax for 2025, we'd only had about 7 months of data on the sales tax so far, so really not much better of a position than we were the first year. As we move forward, we've got better data, we've got more reliable data, and I think the estimates that we're going to make for sales tax revenue are going to be much closer to what we actually end up bringing in. So that's one of the reasons that I suspect that the growth that we're seeing in the tax stabilization fund is not going to continue at the clip that it has been.
Gotcha, because it's the difference, conservative estimate, you guys have been pulling in more than that, so that difference again goes into the TSF.
Exactly.
Your report says essentially you don't think this is something that the city can dig itself out of on its own. Why?
So the city has restrictions on both on the revenue side and on the expenditure side. So on the revenue side, we've got property tax levy limits that limits the growth that you can have year over year in the amount of property tax that you collect. State shared revenue and property tax levy is our number one, our largest funding source. Our second largest funding source is state shared revenue, and the city really doesn't have the ability to have any impact on the amount that we bring in. That's driven entirely by estimates prepared by the state. It was frozen for many years, over 20 years. State shared revenue was flat. And that had a significant impact on the city's finances. And there's now a growth factor. Act 12 in 2023 brought a one-time jump in state shared revenue and built in an ongoing growth factor. But it certainly has not kept pace with inflation. If you look back at when state shared revenue was frozen and you look at where it would have been now had it kept up with inflation, and by some estimates, we're short almost $200 million. So that's a significant impact on the city's finances. On the expenditure side, our two largest departments in terms of the size of their budgets, the police department and the fire department, are both required by Act 12 to grow over the next several years because of maintenance of effort requirements and the need to have our sworn strength in both the police department and the fire department reach prescribed levels by 2033. So the two largest departments, we're not able to we have no ability to shrink. They're in fact going to grow. And the next largest department, which is our Department of Public Works, is largely funded by user fees. So if you would decrease service level in, say, trash collection or in, street lighting services or snow and ice control, you would reduce the fee correspondingly. So you wouldn't actually address the ongoing structural deficit because you'd be bringing down revenues as well as bringing down expenditures. So what's left are a lot of programs that, there's some that are required by either state or federal mandates, but what the amount that's essentially, arguably discretionary, I think is exceedingly small relative to the size of the deficit that we're talking about. So I don't think that we can and I certainly think that we should, do the belt tightening, reduce expenditures when and where we can, and do everything to maximize the revenues that are available to us. But I think just doing what's within our control doesn't close this gap, I think, in a meaningful way.
What is the gap? What are we looking at? I know it's in there, but if you can contextualize it for us.
Sure. So the gap that we're forecasting for 2027, now you've heard the mayor's office and the budget office, they have projected a $96 million budget deficit for 2027. And our projection, we used a different methodology, a different set of assumptions. So whereas the mayor's office and the budget office, they had essentially assumed, well, everything that the department requested and is included, and revenues, things like the charges for service, so those user fees that we talked about, the property tax levy, are flat. And we looked at the history of things like user fees, things like the property tax levy, and we saw that look, historically we've increased these by whether it's 2%, 3%, something in that neighborhood every year. So we built in those assumptions, whereas the administration they didn't build those in. So it's different methodology, but the budget gap that we forecast in 2027 grows from, I have to refer to my report,
no problem.
$52.5 million in 2027 to $104.5 million by 2031. So to contextualize that, if you would look at the budgets in 2026, the budgets for every single department that is in this building, that's housed within City Hall. So you're talking the treasurer's office, the mayor's office, the common council, my office, the controller's office, all the way up to the 8th floor. And you eliminated those. Not give them a haircut, not cut them back a little bit, but entirely eliminate them. That gets you about $58 million. So you would have to eliminate those, which is obviously not practical. You need a common council, you need a mayor, you need controller's office. I mean, we make sure that everybody gets paid, our employees, our vendors. This is important stuff. So I think that might give kind of a sense of why we're not able to simply just cut our way there.
Yeah, and as far as the size of the city budget, it's a little more than $2 billion?
Correct.
And so if you're hearing $104 million quickly, that's what? Fewer than 5%, 2%-ish?
It's a small percentage.
Small percentage-wise.
Right.
But when you're looking at the services that the city offers, the strings, I guess I would say, tied to revenue sources, laws and ordinances, I think that's where you get when you're saying there isn't enough wiggle room for the city to be like, okay, we're just going to scale back this year and everything will be fine.
Correct.
How then should the property owners here, the folks that work in the city or for the city, take the information you've gathered and, I guess, not be concerned?
I think it's right to be concerned. Okay. I think there should be a concern. This report identifies some really sizable structural deficits moving forward, and I think the way to interpret this and the conclusion that I come to as part of the forecast is it's going to require partnership with the state on our revenues and on our expenditures. I think there has to be action that is outside of what the city currently is able to do unilaterally. We have to have some kind of a change in what we're currently allowed to do, both on revenues and expenditures.
And to that end, we were talking about it earlier, you guys just got the sales tax a couple years ago, and I think people hear that and they're like, okay, we're good. This report indicates we're not necessarily good for the long term. So what would be your message to folks that are worried about taxation, whether it's sales or property, and that just going to be continuing to go up?
Sure. Well, the good news on that front is the city's property taxes are limited by property tax levy limits. So those state impositions that sort of restrict our ability to raise revenue, they also sort of put a ceiling on how much your property taxes can be increased. And the city doesn't have the unilateral ability to increase the sales tax. So I think that would be the message is, those same restrictions that are limiting the city's financial flexibility are, in a way, protecting, your wallets.
And the last one for me would be, we're getting to, or probably already in budget time. Mayor's going around asking for feedback on his budget and wanting to hear from people about what they'd be okay with losing or what they really want to prioritize. What do the conversations look like for you and your staff with his office, with common council, as far as finding a solution to this structural deficit?
So, I mean, we're in constant communication with both the council and the administration. In our role as the agency responsible for recognizing revenue in the city budget, we have conversations. In fact, the meeting that I have later this afternoon is on our revenue budget, what that's going to look like, so that will give the administration a better sense of the flexibility that they might have, or what they can do to kind of shrink that gap on the revenue side. With the Common Council, I mean, I serve as a sounding board, as a source of information. I think I'm happy to serve in that role. I think I try to I pride myself on integrity, and I think that comes through in the trust that they place in me to give them kind of accurate information and my perspective, my honest perspective on things.
Sweet. I think that's about all I have. Anything else that you want to say that I didn't touch on?
No, I think that's all.
Cool. Covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Was that more or less what you expected, or
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, and you explained it in a way that I think people will.
Well, we were listening to Sam Kramer there asking some very pointed and pertinent questions there about the city budget there to the city comptroller, and just talking about the forecast, of course, of the budget going forward, some of the holes that need to be plugged. And as you heard there with Sam, asking those questions, some of this is really hard to forecast. But it was interesting because when you looked at that, I was just kind of taking some notes here. This all comes as the man that we just heard from, Bill Christensen, releasing the City of Milwaukee Comptroller's Office first 5-year fiscal forecast and this new annual planning and the forecasting. And it really goes to the city leadership, the stakeholders, the residents. It's really trying to give a clear view of where we're at financially in the city. And this inaugural forecast reflects what they are trying to do to best serve the residents of the city and keep things safe and keep things on budget. When you got to imagine, for example, I'm just throwing this out there. We didn't touch on that, but we know that Chief Aaron Lipsky has said, hey, listen, we need, I'm just talking citywide, we need new trucks, new fire trucks, because our fleet is old. And when you think about that, and you think about everybody who needs every department and every need met, that can be a challenging and also at times controversial situation. The forecast concluded that Milwaukee is going to need to continue evaluating expenditure controls, service level policies, and really, prudent measures to reserve everything that we can while everybody is under of course, budget tightening restraints, but the city needs to keep moving, operating, and keeping residents safe. So we'll hear more from Sam later, but just want to give you a little brief wrap of that. When we come back, I want you to stick with me because we're going to be talking about a topic that is pertinent to an incident that happened recently this week. And it's a topic that hasn't always been talked about in fervor, but a topic that affects nearly all women everywhere, not only in the United States, but globally. And it's one that's getting new light about our health, but more importantly, our emotional health. It's an important topic. We're going to learn some facts. You can tell I'm teasing you because I want you to stick around here on Fox Local on this Thursday afternoon. Mary Stoker-Smith, glad to be with you. Keep it right here. We have a doctor on the other side of the break. I see her in my preview screen. We'll take a quick break and come right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk, everybody. Glad to have you with us on a Thursday afternoon. Mary Stoker-Smith coming back here with a very important topic that I just teased before we went to that break. And we are going to be talking about specifically postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis. And again, I had said that this was a topic that didn't get a lot of fervor, didn't get a robust conversation even years ago. But I know as somebody growing up in the 70s, we always kind of wondered, well, what happened to, I'm just making up a name, Aunt Minnie? She seems so blue. She just had a baby or whatever. And so now we are looking into this more closely and taking the stigma off of what would be in a storybook, fairy tale, normal, life, if you will. Oh, you just had a baby. You're on top of the world. Life is grand. Balloons everywhere. And it is a wonderful thing, but there's also a real important emotional component that isn't always positive and upbeat. And for that, we are joined by our doctor here that we are so thrilled to have today from UW Health, Dr. This is a great way to remember it. I'm going to tell everybody. Julianne Zweifel. I said to her, how do I say your last name? She said, just think of Eiffel Tower. I love that. I just had to share that little tidbit. So, Doctor, thanks for being with us. Let's start with kind of the basics here before we go into the extreme of it. Take us, for people just watching this, take us through this. You just had a baby, as I just said. Everything's great. Everybody's happy. You should be on top of the world, you think. But it doesn't always work that way. Our biology and our makeup as women doesn't always allow us to just be in bliss, right?
Absolutely right. What I think people really need to understand is that the very clear majority of women, meaning 75 to 85% of women, are going to struggle with some mood dysfunction. And it's going to start within a few days after delivery. That's called postpartum blues. So if 75 to 85% of women experience this, that makes it normal. That doesn't mean it's unusual. It might be unpleasant. It might be unwelcome. It might be disconcerting, but it makes it normal. And one of the things I just want to share, back forever ago when I did my research working on my PhD, it was in the area of postpartum blues and postpartum depression. And I had a chance to look at prevalence rates of postpartum blues and postpartum depression internationally. And they really are the same as what we see in the United States. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm making that point is this is not a first world problem. This is physiology. This is what happens. You know, just shortly after birth, hormone levels drop precipitously. It is really hard on your system. You're physically recovering from delivering a baby. Sleep disruption you usually already had towards the end of pregnancy because women are getting up a lot to pee in the middle of the night. And then that's going to continue. All of those things, plus the stress and pressure of caring for a newborn, it's absolutely understandable that there is going to be some mood dysfunction shortly after birth. And that can be depressed mood and crying and worry. It can have anxiety. But again, because this is affecting 75 to 85% of women, that's normal.
That's what I had said, globally. This isn't just a thing that we experience in the United States, but when I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about expectations. Talk about that, because I think the expectations are, as women, we can do it all. And as you said, you've just had this baby and you're thinking, I can handle this. And so there's got to be a little bit of an emotional weight that I shouldn't be feeling this way. I should be able to do it all. How much of that component do you think goes into this? Or is this pure physical?
First of all, I just want to tell you there's no way to scientifically completely dissect whether it's entirely physical or what's going on in terms of the demands and the expectations. There's no way to completely separate those things. I do think expectations affect things a lot. And it's fun for me that you brought that up, because what I really wanted to do as a research project, and I wasn't able to pull it off, but I wanted to get into birthing classes and have some classes get a whole lot of education about the normalcy of postpartum blues and postpartum anxiety, and the others just get the standard birthing education and see if that affected their mood status afterward. Because I think if you know that something is normal, it doesn't mean it's pleasant, but if you know that something's normal, it's not so alarming. It's not so, gosh, why do I feel this way? As you said, it should be balloons and happiness and everyone's so happy for you. And yet you're weepy and you're emotional and you even know your emotions are out of proportion to what's going on. I think that can be scary to people if they don't recognize, no, this is what happens. And I think if we had a better understanding of that, it would shrink the experience a little bit. It wouldn't take it away, but you wouldn't have the reaction to that mood dysfunction, which kind of mushrooms it a little bit. Like, now I'm scared and I'm disconcerted by the emotions I'm having. At least we could lessen that. And I want to share one other thing. Back when I was doing all that research and study in grad school, one of the things I was reading about was, and this is old data, but in tribal Uganda, when women had their babies, they did not return to the hut with their husbands. They went to a hut with their mother, who took care of the mother and the baby for the first 3 months.
Really?
And that was the normal process.
Do you think that was because she would be able to, she understood and she's like, okay, yeah, this is what I did with you. So
my point is, like, different cultures have different norms.
Yeah.
And so some norms, as in tribal Uganda, it was normal that the new mother wasn't expected to just, jump in and be so capable right away. She was cared for those first few months. And we used to be tribal, and now there's I like self-sufficiency a lot. I really do. But there's such an emphasis on self-sufficiency that if there's a new mom, she can feel like, ooh, I should be able to do this all myself right away. And I just think that's a really big shift in undertaking. And if we were to normalize a little bit more that it is completely healthy to allow other people to help you, it doesn't mean you're incapable. I think that might help a little bit.
Let's talk about when things go a little abnormal, though. There's a difference between, okay, I'm feeling a little blue and I'm having some postpartum depression and, but then sometimes things go to the next level, and that's where we get into the psychosis. And as we, I know you don't want to get into the headlines, but we recently have had that make headlines, recently in the news. And especially when it comes to somebody, a public figure, somebody very prominent who you think, oh, they've got, the world by the hand. They're ready to go. When do you know, or how do you know when things are going to that danger zone? Not just your typical postpartum.
So I'm going to tease things apart a little bit more than you did. So postpartum blues, which I said hits 75 to 80% of women, that's going to start within about 3 days after delivery, and typically it resolves after about 2 weeks. If it persists, then it's called postpartum depression. So postpartum depression is not necessarily worse in intensity than postpartum blues. It just hasn't resolved. But that would normally, with treatment, resolve within about 3 months, maybe a little longer. What you're talking about postpartum psychosis is really a different clinical scenario. It comes on abruptly. It's very evident. Women's touch with reality is just not great. Like they may see things or hear things that aren't there. Their thinking may not be logical. Not just like anxious thoughts, but like others would recognize, no, this doesn't make any sense. Your fears are way dramatic. It's really noticeable, and that demands immediate treatment. But that is really rare. That's really, really rare. We're talking about 1 in 1,000 women are going to experience that. I've been in practice here with UW since about 2005, and I think I've had 1 case. Ooh. And she had a complete full recovery.
So that is rare, but as you said, it does happen. Then what are the treatments? So what if a woman is watching this and she's feeling like, I don't even know if I should go to my doctor because I'm not completely unhinged? I mean, what should be the steps that are taken? I would assume the first thing would be talk to your doctor.
I would say being in touch with whomever was in charge of your obstetric care. So that could be an OB, it could be family practice, it could be a nurse midwife. But most of those providers are really good. It's really standard of care now for them to be following up with you anyway. But if there are concerns at all, reaching out, and I think in my experience, they are very responsive. They're right on top of that, and they're going to answer questions. If there is a postpartum psychosis going on, then we need to involve my partners in psychiatry. And we've got some excellent physicians here who do specialize in maternal health. And I'm not going to get into what treatments or what medications they might suggest, because that's really their lane. But it is treatable. Again, the 1 case, because it's that rare, that I had complete recovery.
If besides the psychosis, so for postpartum depression, is there a medication? For example, if there's medication for depression, but again, a lot of times new mothers are breastfeeding, and so there's got to be that concern that, hey, I don't want to go on a medication because it could affect the breast milk. So is there a medication? Sure. Is there a medication that is safe? And is there the old at-home remedies, things that are not, things that are drug-free, but they could be doing, say, from the CVS or Walgreens shelf or their drugstore or their counter?
So the short answer, and I'll go back to, remember I said postpartum depression isn't necessarily worse than postpartum blues. It just hasn't resolved. So it's not always terribly extreme. I'm a psychologist, so we do psychotherapy. So I would say that, of course, I think that's a first line treatment. I'll talk about medication in a second, but really some common sense strategies genuinely are helpful. Getting outside and going for a walk to decompress a little bit. And if at all possible, being able to do that without your child so that you're off the clock and you can kind of take a breather. Accepting help from family or friends, trying to get some sleep, trying to work out strategies. If women are breastfeeding, considering doing some pumping so someone else can get up for some of those night feedings so that your sleep is better. So some common sense strategies. But in terms of medications, again, I won't try to get in the lane of my psychiatry colleagues, but there are medications, I'll just say, that they feel are okay to use while you're breastfeeding. And also, if that depression or anxiety is problematic enough, you have to do a kind of a pros and cons effect too, and figure out what's the best strategy here. We want there to be, we want the mom's health to have a significant importance in evaluating this as well. So it's not that you can't take anything.
Right. Lastly, before we wrap, I just feel like you're our teacher, our cheerleader. Give us some words of encouragement for women who are going through that. I want to just say to all the ladies, myself, but I want to hear it from you. You're doing a good job. You're doing a great job.
Well, what I would say, and I'm thinking about what my nephews and his wife just recently had a baby. And one of the pieces of advice that I passed on to her that she reached out and said, oh gosh, that was so helpful, is a lot of people want to be really successful in parenting. And I said to her, I said, it's a lot of work taking care of a baby. It's a surprising amount of work taking care of a baby. And this new mom was actually a NICU nurse. So she actually had skills already. I said, but it's really hard to get anything done in the house. And she said, yeah, I know. And I said, no, it's really hard. Set the bar low for what you consider being successful. And she's like, well, what do you mean? And I said, if you get the dishwasher emptied in a day, that's a great day. And she reached back and she said, that was really helpful, to just kind of understand what's the scale here.
Right. Exactly. I love that. Accomplishing that, giving yourself a pen, because we're so wired, we're so hardwired, everything needs to be done, and we're, and so, if it takes a day. But I do love what you said about if you can find that support group, time alone, because I've heard so many new mothers say to go to the bathroom, to take a shower, and not have a demand. I mean, little things we take for granted. So this has been awesome. So Dr. Zweifel, thank you so much. We hope this helps somebody, if not a lot of people, but your words of encouragement have really been helpful. I hope you come back to the Wisconsin Live Desk and join us again.
All right. Well, this was my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good day. All right. That was great, wasn't it? I hope notes were taken. That was inspirational. It's good to have the conversation going, and we can keep it going. We're going to take a quick break, come back, give you a check of the weather. I'm looking around. It's summer. It's August, and we're in southeastern Wisconsin. Where else would you want to be? I left town for a conference, but I don't leave town this time of year. We got festivals. We got the Boys of Summer baseball. We got beer gardens. Keep it right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Check your weather for the weekend coming right at you. Be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Wisconsin Live Desk. So glad that you're with us. We're going to take a turn here and switch topics before we get to the weather check and some other things going around on the weekend. We're going to take you out to Kenosha County with our Kenosha County reporter, Ben Hansen, who is there. And Ben, thanks for joining us. We're talking about a very serious matter, a sad matter that a lot of people will have interest in. And this is about a potential animal hoarding incident and a woman who has been accused of having too many animals and maybe the condition of those animals. So bring us up to speed as to what we know for sure, and if there are charges involved here, or if this does rise to a criminal level, if you will.
Yeah, Mary. So right now there are 15 charges being brought against this woman. 15 of those charges, they're all kind of varying in what they are described as, but they're all focusing on mistreatment of animals in her house. So there was a welfare check called to her house actually by her sister last Friday, August 14th. And this is the farm and the area right here. And in a smaller area, when the officers made the welfare check to this house, they found an environment inside the house that in the open record is described as disgusting and hazardous. There was a lot of, just a warning here for this description, there was a lot of molding feces, there were maggots in the fridge, the AC wasn't on, the electrical wasn't on, the fridge was off, and there were 3 cats and a dog stuck in this house that were living in these conditions. The dog was in a crate, and then also, since this is a bigger farm area, in the stables, there were 5 horses and an alpaca living in situations of the same kind of thing. An abundant amount of feces inside the stables and close to their drinking water. So when they made that welfare check, officers, of course, discovered this odor right away and found the situation that these animals were in. So they arrested her right away, and they brought these charges later. But at the time when she was arrested, her blood alcohol content level was so high that they brought her to the jail, but then realized that she would have to go to a hospital before she was brought back to the jail to be held. So that gives you a little idea of the mindset that she was in during that time. How often she was in that mindset, the criminal complaint did not say. We don't know for sure, but we also went to her first intake court today, so it was her first time in court with these charges. And originally there were 19 charges being brought against her. Specifically, the additional 4 were coming from failure to provide proper food and drink to confined animals. Her attorney, or her lawyer in this case, chopped the amount of charges being brought against her, those 8 charges specifically of that, in half to 4 because there were 3 cats and 1 dog inside the house. He was saying that these charges were being duplicated, and that if it's addressing food and water, it should only be one of those charges for each of the animals that were inside her house. So now it's a total of 15 charges being brought against her. She's going to make her initial appearance in court, pre-trial appearance in mid-September. So it's going to be a little while before we hear any justification she had for this environment. But her and her lawyer entered a not guilty plea. So they're going forward with this pre-trial status. We've been able to talk to neighbors too in the area. A lot of them did not want to go on the camera and speak, but with this house right here, again, we're in town of Somers near 13th Street and 7th Street. A lot of the neighbors did not want to go on camera to talk, but they said in recent years, in the past 2-3 years, they haven't heard much from this farm area, this bigger property where the woman lived at, or where the woman was at when the charges were brought against her, where the environment was found. They said they hadn't heard much from that house or the people living in it for the past 2 or 3 years. And just another clarifier here, the woman that was charged in this case was actually a caretaker. She was not the owner of the property, but the criminal complaint said that she was living there rent-free, and the owner, they could only give us the initials GW, was letting her live there rent-free as the caretaker for this house. So at the time, she was the only one on the property. They were saying, neighbors were saying, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, they used to take their kids over here and have them ride the horses and touch the alpacas. But again, like I was saying, in recent years, these neighbors have gone a lot more quiet, and some neighbors saying that they didn't hear from them at all. One neighbor that we talked to on camera was saying that she had no idea that this was going on, and she's probably only about 300 yards away from this house down the street that way. She had no idea that this was going on. Of course, concerned for her neighbor about the situation that the officers that were called for the welfare check found this woman in. Of course, concerned for her neighbor in that situation. But she was saying that she had no idea that this was going on. So it sounds like this is something that a lot of the neighbors in this area had no idea, so they weren't able to do anything. Like I said, it was her sister that made the welfare check. It wasn't a neighbor. So this was pretty much completely unknown for the people in the neighborhood. I was talking to Lieutenant Chase Forrester with the Kenosha County Sheriff's Office earlier today, and he was saying that he's been in this position for 13 years and he's only seen a handful, probably about 3 or 4, just a handful of cases like this. These are not a common occurrence, so it's why it's so notable to be covering this today, Mary.
You have cleared up so many questions that I have, but let me back up a little bit. And first of all, to your point, Ben, and I'm not being superficial here, when you look at the sign, Cocoa Farms, and you look at that beautiful area, why would you be concerned? This isn't like a dilapidated property. This isn't like dogs running amok. I mean, sometimes when we hear about these cases, it's like, you know, there's red flags. You know, we've seen the animal, the pet outside in the yard, and they look terrible. Or, you know, there's some red flag. From these vantage point, it looks like a picturesque Norman Rockwell type situation. So you can see where there wouldn't be any call to action. Specifically when it came to that home that they were found in, and you said there was no electricity, refrigerator off, really poor conditions. Do we know if the woman involved here, who has these criminal charges against her, do you know if she was actually living in that house or she was somewhere else on the property living?
We don't know for sure. All it said was the criminal complaint was that this situation, the environment that the animals inside the house were living in, was in a smaller part on this property. And I actually went to the property and knocked on the door earlier today. No one answered, but there were workers outside on the property doing some maintenance. It looked like it was inside the house because there was a back door open. There were some stickers on the windows that pointed towards some kind of construction company or upkeep company for houses in the area. And I talked with the workers and they had no idea that this was going on. They had no idea what I was talking about when I tried to explain the situation to them. So according to the criminal complaint, it sounds like it was in a smaller house on the property, because this property, it said in the criminal complaint, is almost 30 acres. So it's not any small property, which is pretty common for this neighborhood. The people living in this area have pretty big plots of land where they put their houses, but all that we're able to gather right now, we don't know for sure if she was living in the place where these animals were found in the cages, the cats and dogs specifically, so we're not able to make any conclusion about that at this time.
Last question before we let you go. I know you got to get a lot together for our newscast on Fox 6. Do we know the conditions of the animal, the dog that was found in the cage, or the 3 cats and the 5 horses? Did you get an update on their health condition?
Yeah, so I was asking Lieutenant Forrester with the Kenosha County Sheriff's Office earlier. He has not gotten back to me on that question specifically because it's a follow-up question that I had for him. But in the criminal complaint, it did say that they took the dog out of the area. It didn't specifically say what they did with the cats or the horses. So I will be looking into that. Hopefully I'll have that information for the 5 and 6 o'clock shows tonight here on Fox 6. But that was all I was able to figure out at this moment. They actually, this is interesting, they said the animals were in pretty bad condition. The dog that they did eventually get out of there did end up, right as they let him out of the cage that he was in this house, the dog actually started eating the molding feces that was on the ground. And when they offered him kibble, he very violently started eating the kibble like he hadn't eaten in a long time. So again, something interesting to note, that maybe these animals were not only living in this environment with all that was described as disgusting and hazardous in the criminal complaint, but they also, who knows how much they were also getting fed in this case.
Heartbreaking to hear these details. but they have to be told. So, Ben, thank you. Our Kenosha County reporter, Ben Hansen there. We will look for updates throughout the night. A lot of people will be very interested in this story. Really appreciate you taking time to give us such detail. Thanks. So there you have it there. Difficult story, I know, to hear, but we will get much more clarification on that in the evening newscast and, of course, in the days to come. All right, this is a good time for a break, right? Let's take a break, regroup, and come back here on the Wisconsin Live Desk and give you a look at the weather and some things going on for the weekend. We'll be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Are you getting out this weekend? You better. Yeah, that's an order from Dr. Smith. I'm not a doctor, I just like to play one on TV because I'm going to give you a look right now at our Estabrook Skycam. Let's all do a collective, beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous summer day right now. In the 80s, it feels like, but I see there the temperature's only 76. I thought when I got out of the car today, coming to work, I thought, ooh, it's a beautiful like 80, but the humidity has really dropped. So it's a pleasant mid-70 degree day here on this Thursday afternoon as we get ready to ring in the weekend there. You're looking over the city of Milwaukee, the Cream City. No place that you would rather be on this gorgeous day. Just that light cloud cover, but dry conditions right now. And let's take a look at the weekend and the evening as we go forward. It starts kind of tonight, right? Looking at a live cam from Brown Deer. Look at those beautiful blue skies. Just absolutely gorgeous. If you are headed out right now, or thinking about heading out, to Jazz in the Park, that gets underway down in Cathedral Square. Always a summer highlight on Thursdays. And that's gone, by the way, this year, you guys, for you who are thinking or maybe haven't hit it yet this year, it's every Thursday. I think it was last year, it was every other Thursday. But Jazz in the Park tonight, it looks like a beautiful night for that. If you are headed out to a beer garden, gorgeous night for that. But you can just see nothing but net, as they say, as we take a look around the area. If that's not your thing tonight, and maybe you're just looking to get out this weekend, well, how about that? The Brewers. Yeah, the Brewers are on fire. We had asked this web poll question a little bit earlier in the week, and it was, how far will the Brewers go this season? And in the minority, which I thought was great, was wild card, and then NLDS, and then as we look a little bit more fervent here, NLCS. And of course, those optimists there are saying the World Series champions, 57%. World Series loss, I'm not even going to touch that. Forget about it. But I think a lot of people are saying, well over half of you, that this is a team that could really go all the way. And that is great news, because they've just been so much fun to watch. They've just done such a great job. And it's just been great to see the Miz and to hear from Pat Murphy. And then during Ted Perry's 6 pack of questions, which are on Fox Local, he's getting to know some of the players that we may not know a lot about. He asked a really great question from one of the players. Why is the name not ringing a bell? I'll get to it, but he asked just everything about who's your favorite player on the team, who's your best friend on the team, and even a fashion question. I loved that. So it's been fun to get to know the players. Last year, of course, we heard from Pat Murphy and his 6 pack of questions, but it's been fun to know the guys behind the bat. It's been great. Check it out on Fox Local. But just a beautiful night, and looks like a beautiful weekend, though, to get out and about. Before we go to break here, too, we're going to come back and take you to a trial going on that has been getting a lot of attention, and that is the trial for Tupac Shakur that has been going on for days. We're going to leave you with that in just a couple minutes. We'll take a look and hear the latest on that trial. But otherwise, quiet here, good road times, good time to get out and enjoy the weekend. And again, when it comes to the Brewers here for the weekend, they are playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Tickets are left, plenty of time to get out and do what I think is the most important part of the game, tailgate. Perfect tailgating weather. So get that store run and get your burgers and your brats and your buns and get them all ready. Get the cooler out, because it's going to be a great weekend to tailgate. We're going to take another quick break and come right back here with the latest on the trial here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Keep it right here. Be right back.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk, everybody. Am I giddy that it's the weekend? Yes. I showed you that for a reason. I wore those yesterday because we had our annual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer kick-off breakfast. I wanted to make sure I said that right. We had a wonderful, wonderful morning yesterday. And what this is, I want to take a little bit of time, since I have time to promote this. It kicks off the events leading up to the walk, and that walk is so important. It's near and dear to our heart here at Fox 6 as a sponsor, but it also is near and dear to my heart. And I want you to join us. We have all the details on Fox Local. This year it is Saturday, October 10th, down at the Summerfest grounds, as it has been for years. And we have all the information on our website. Things start at 8 o'clock, but the walk itself actually starts at 10:15. So the gates open at 8, but then leading up to that, there's a lot of different booths that women, men, everybody can take advantage of. You can sign up for free screenings for mammograms. We give education about breast cancer, statistics, but this is a disease that affects so many women. If you're at home and you're listening to this, raise your hand if you know somebody who's been affected by breast cancer. Yes. What we aim to do with this is spread awareness, talk about early detection, talk about getting your mammograms, screenings, talking to your doctors, your friends, your neighbors. We also emphasize Buddy Check 6, and that's our initiative here at Fox 6 to send you a reminder to do your exam every month, because just a small change can mean a big difference. And so if you can, make sure that you can make plans now. I have all the information on my page. If you go to my Instagram page or on our website, fox6now.com, on my fan page for fox6now.com, and also on Fox Local. We have all the information there, how you can sign up now to be a part of this important and really wonderful walk that celebrates more birthdays, education, awareness when it comes to breast cancer, but more importantly, talks about the importance of early detection and support for caregivers of people helping breast cancer survivors and people who are going through this disease, and also just helping people get through this. It's a scary diagnosis. If you've ever heard that word, you have breast cancer. So please take initiative if you can. Get all the information on now, and put together a fun little video too on my Instagram page. Take a look at that. It was fun. Anyway, wanted to get that plug in now because that's an important event. Before we go, though, or before I leave, I'm going to show you day 4 of the Tupac Shakur trial that has been going on. We've heard a lot of different testimony. A lot of you have been following this. I'm going to leave you here as I switch out with Maddie Stelk. I'm going to leave you with just a little bit of that trial going on here, and she'll continue to follow it. But been so nice to have you with us today on this wonderful Thursday. Have a great weekend. I'll see you again next week, but I'm going to leave you with the trial now. I'll see you on Fox 6 at 5.
It was given to me.
And with regards to your testimony here today, you've told us a little bit about your work with HIDA. That's for drugs, correct?
Yeah, correct.
And while you're...
Drugs and other things. HIDA is a task force, so it's drugs and everything. It's ATF, DEA, all that.
Right.
Right.
And with regards to your work with HIDA, of course, because it's about everything, technically, if you saw other types of crimes being committed while you're working for HIDA, you would tell the HIDA people because it's part of the overall task force, right?
No, I'm not necessarily. I'm gonna tell them what they asked me about. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna tell them nothing outside of the realm of what they're seeking or looking for.
Right. And fair to say, though, with regards to what they were seeking and looking for, at some point they were targeting Mr. Davis as a drug dealer, right?
Yeah.
And so you were helping them with that information that they needed, right? And that information came in early of 2008, meaning that you were helping them in April and May and that kind of thing.
I'm not sure the dates, but I eventually was, helping them. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't remember the dates.
Your Honor, would a review of a report from the DOJ with regard to your participation help refresh your recollection?
It might, yeah, sure.
Yeah, take a look at the report, look at the date, don't say anything, and then I'll ask you some questions.
Look at the date. Where's the date? Is it? Okay, I recall. Yeah.
Okay. And with regard to this document I gave you, it looks like the date that I've shown you is a date for July 10th, 2008. Is that right?
Yes, that's the date that's on there.
Okay. And fair to say for the jury, once again, you're working with the HIDA team, and that's even prior to July of 2008, you were working with the HIDA team. Fair?
You said prior to
July of 2008.
2008?
Yes.
I was working with HIDA. I only worked with HIDA one time, so I don't know what you're trying to insinuate. Like,
All right. And I want to make sure that the jury, that we're clear for the jury. Okay?
I
So
understand.
let me show you my document. Would a review of another document help you refresh your recollection as to how many times you worked with HIDA?
it might. Let me see.
This is
Hey guys, Maddie Selk just getting logged in here. This is live right now in Las Vegas. Day 4 of testimony in the Tupac Shakur murder case. We are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
We are just a few days away from the America 250 Grand Prix race on Sunday in Washington, D.C. I was going to say let's give you a live look there now, but this might be a little deceiving. This is actually the FOX6 studio right now, where we have a little kart race set up. Of course, you can catch the game right here on Fox, not the game, the race right here on FOX6 right now. As you can see, some members of our creative department having a little fun here with the cars. This looks so fun. Again, this is on Sunday right here. Here's a little graphic to show you. August 23rd on Sunday, the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. Earlier we saw a little bit of a preview of that event right here. But again, this is live in the FOX6 studio right now, where we are so excited here. We are so hype. Let's see if I can get that up. Okay, and also, while this is happening, I have a little thing that we were given by Fox. I feel like, the thing of Tom Holland where he's like given the secret stuff and it's like confidential. Delaney, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
That's what I feel like. This is not confidential, guys. I was allowed to share this. But this is what we were given by Fox, and let's read it together about what this cart and everything is for. So let's see here. This is the kit that we got from there. It's put the racetrack to work on air. This kit isn't just a keepsake, it's a segment waiting to happen. So a little behind the scenes here of what this is for. So this is what you can expect coming up on Fox 6 Wake Up News over the next few days. So set the track up, the morning or evening desk, and have the anchors race side by side or see who can complete a certain number of laps in the fastest time while teasing the broadcast built-in, quote, speed on the straightaways, deft touch through the corners banner. So that's a little behind the scenes there for you. Can also be use the DC skyline for a backdrop, for a toss between segments, and then tie in the Capitol, as you can see right there, a beautiful shot. And then also it can be a little countdown prop. You can display the assembled track in studio all week as a visual countdown clock to race day like we're doing right now. So again, just a few days away. It's on Sunday. I'm excited to see some of our Wake Up talent race each other using this track right here. As you can see, they've been doing that. Looks like they press a button and then they go around and around there. I wonder if they even know that they're on air right now. But look at this in full. It's, oh my goodness, looks like so much fun there. I wonder if they're racing or if they're just, it looks like they're maybe just messing around a little bit with what we've got there. Let's see, I see Andrew Severson, Jay's apartment right there, going at it right now. Delaney, what sound does a race car make? Come on.
We're hearing it right now. It might be a little louder, though.
Oh, not anymore. We lost the audio, Delaney. What sound does a race car make?
I can't even do it well.
Yes, you can. It's okay. Let's bring the audio back up for everyone's sake. After I did that. But I feel like whenever they go by in real life, it's just like, it's so fast.
It's so quick.
But again, this is on August 24, IndyCar on Fox, pulling the green flag on history. It's the inaugural Freedom 250, a first-of-its-kind race commemorating the 250th birthday of America. It's the monuments of Washington, D.C., as we're seeing right here with this display and setup. You aren't going to want to miss it. I love watching the IndyCar races right now. Delaney, do you have a favorite driver, or are you familiar with the IndyCar?
I am not. Do you have a favorite driver, though?
Well, we were talking about it in the newsroom today, that Joseph Newgarden has always been my favorite. Not for statistical reasons, but because he does objectively happen to be very attractive, in my opinion. So that's who I've always rooted for. And he actually won the Indy 500 a couple of years ago, so shout out to him. But he is happily married, so I just, that's why I say objectively, you guys. But I do love watching the race. It's so much fun to see that. So, yes, this is great. We love to see it out here. As we take a live look right now at the Capitol building right now, which will be the center backdrop for the Indy 500 here, as we take a look back at our, they are just having the time of their lives right now. Oh, foul.
Put it back on, Tom.
Foul there, oh my goodness. This is so much fun. We are having a blast in the Fox 6 studio, and things are just getting started ahead of the Indy Grand Prix that's coming up, IndyCar on Sunday. So we are going to take a quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Then we're going to check in with another sport, football. Preseason underway for the Packers. Game against the Broncos is tomorrow. Tim Van Boren live in Denver will have a report for us, as I still have the audio up of the effects of the race car track. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
3:43 on your Thursday afternoon. Thanks for being with us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Let's take you out now to Denver right now. This is a live look. Not the best shot that we've got up here, but what you can see are the beautiful mountains and the blue sky. What a great day to touch down in Denver for our sports director, Tim Van Voren, joining us now ahead of the Packers preseason game tomorrow. Tim, looks gorgeous out there.
It's pretty nice. A 90-degree day. How you feel about a nice, solid 90-degree afternoon in Denver, Colorado, Maddie? So I got a shade spot here on the 6th Street and Street Mall, but otherwise, all good. A lot of people kind of fired up. It's a summer day for sure.
So where are you at right now? Kind of describe
downtown,
the area. Yeah.
Downtown. Yeah, 16th Street. It's a pedestrian mall. They've got some buses that go up and down, but otherwise no traffic on this. So, spots to eat, that sort of thing. And not too far from the hotel that we're staying at. We just got in here. The rooms weren't ready. So I'm going to go find somewhere to sit down in the shade so I could talk to Maddie Stelk about this football game, about Denver, about slot car racing with the Indy track, whatever you want to talk about. Joseph Newgarden, whatever you want to talk about,
Oh,
Maddie.
you were there for that, Tim? You heard that?
I was listening in, absolutely.
It's not a hot take, I feel like. But anyway,
no,
please go ahead.
Joseph Newgarden would make my list of most comfortable, most agreeable athletes in any sport to deal with from a media standpoint. Joseph Newgarden, terrific, great guy, great communicator, and not quite as successful as he had been for many seasons. But you can look at him for other reasons, and that's all you, Maddie. But Joseph Newgarden's high on my list.
Now, I knew I had a good feeling about him, so it's good to know that he's very personable and good in person, Tim. But talking preseason now, ahead of tomorrow's game, what are you looking out for? What do you think we should be making note of as we head in this game against the Broncos?
Well, Jordan Love and the Packer starters are going to play in this game. That's according to Coach Matt LaFleur. And then he and some of them are not likely to play in the preseason finale. So this is your last chance to see them in the preseason, their last chance to get out there in preseason game action. They're definitely still working on things. They feel pretty good about what they've been able to do in training camp so far. Didn't show a whole lot offensively in the preseason opener at Pittsburgh. So I think they'd like to maybe accomplish a little bit more offensively, but I don't think anybody's stressing about it. Number one, last week we said, Maddie, you get out of there with the most important NFL preseason statistic, and that is no critical injuries. Packers would gladly take that again here in Denver tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And you talked a little bit about a game last week in Pittsburgh. What else do you think the team's going to take from what they learned from that game heading into tomorrow night against the Broncos?
They're definitely evaluating, Maddie. There are definitely jobs on the line here on the offensive line, no pun intended, at cornerback, on the defensive line. And so this, largely new defensive coaching staff. They're coaching guys differently than have been coached in Green Bay in recent years. Offensive coaches are pretty much the same from last year, but the evaluation process is, what can we get out of this offense? And some of the players you thought were going to be in certain spots on the depth chart are not in those spots on the depth chart. So things could still go up, things could still go down before the regular season starts. And that's less than a month away now, September 13th at Minnesota, game number 1. So, the countdown is definitely on, even if it's 90 degrees.
I know, it's hot there. I mean, it is. We're approaching 80 degrees here, so we're with you there. Talking Denver and the Broncos, how do we stand against them based on how they've been doing so far in the preseason?
Denver had such a good year last year, obviously making a nice playoff run, and they may have gone even further if they hadn't had a big quarterback injury at the end of the playoffs. So they're a good football team. They're looking at the preseason the same way the Packers are. This is a tune-up time. They're not trying to put in new schemes and change everything over with a new coaching operation or new general manager. They want to carry over the success they had last year. The Packers were here, and they were in very good position in the NFC. And in the game in Denver, Micah Parsons got hurt and Zach Tom got hurt, and those guys missed a whole lot of time. Christian Watson got hurt in that game, and it was just a downer day in Denver for the Packers. They want to come out here with a better feeling. The Broncos, by the same token, they feel very confident going into this season. They have Sean Payton, who's a long-time, big-time winner in the NFL at head coach. They're just looking to kind of roll this thing through and get to the regular season.
Yeah, and I know the stakes aren't high for the preseason. Obviously, the points not really counting here. But what will the results of tomorrow's game give us? Will it give us any indication about how the team might fare out heading into the regular season?
I think a little bit of an indicator. You're watching individual players this time of year as much as team success. Do you remember, what the Packers did last season in the preseason? Probably not. You remember what happened in the regular season and then that playoff loss. So that's the way it should be in the NFL. The preseason does not mean anything in terms of staying power, but you're evaluating to see who's going to be where in that regular season and then hopefully in the playoffs, and you see what kind of team you have put together. Like last week, Trey Smack came to that game in Pittsburgh. People were kind of unsure of what to make of the rookie kicker. He made 3 field goals that counted. He made an extra 58-yard field goal that didn't count because it was taken down by penalty. So you walked out of there feeling very good if you're the Green Bay Packers about your kicker, better than you ever did going into that game. So that's the type of emotional swing you can have on certain players if you're the evaluators here in the NFL, whether you're on the Denver side of things, the Green Bay side of things. And the NFL teams, they scout every other team this time of year, too. Maybe the Packers are saying, we're a little light at tight end because of injuries behind Tucker Kraft once he gets back. Maybe we're taking a look at other teams, be it the Broncos or other teams around the league, to see if they have a tight end we might want to bring in at the end of the preseason to supplement our roster. So there are a lot of moving parts this time of year, Maddie.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to have a little fun here before I let you go, because I know it is hot, and we appreciate you taking the time on your travel day, of course, Tim. But that's the key. You travel a lot. I want to know, what's your favorite spot that you've been to travel for, whether it's a regular Packers game or a preseason game? What's your favorite city to go to?
Wow, that's a pretty good question. I've had the good fortune to get to all the NFL stadiums, all the NFL cities. So that's, just a wonderful opportunity. And they all have their merits. Have to say that for sure. It's definitely true. This year, I think the Packers' schedule suits someone who doesn't mind traveling very well. Some very good destinations out there this year. I'm going to go with Seattle as one of the best spots, though. It's a fun city. The Packers usually stay downtown. We usually stay downtown. The stadium is very lively. The crowd is into it. So Seattle's always a good trip. And usually the Seahawks are pretty good. The Packers and Seahawks have had some big-time games out there. Obviously, one very painful loss for the Packers in the NFC Championship game. But otherwise, that would definitely be on my list for sure. And there are a lot of cities this season that look pretty appealing. Let's put it that way, Maddie.
It's exciting. I'm excited to hear all of your reports as we head into such a fun season here. I'm talking Seattle. I mean, I'm watching the Mariners game right now. Hopefully doing a little better this time, it looks like, against the Brewers after we saw on Brew Crew Tuesday. But Tim, thanks so much for joining us here on the Live Desk. I've never been to Seattle, so I'm going to have to maybe check it out.
Put that on your list. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'll have some suggestions for you if you make it there.
Perfect. And I would trust you. I feel like you've got some good ones. You're well traveled, Tim. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Live Desk. Looking forward to Tim's reports coming up tomorrow for the preseason game. Again, Packers Broncos should be a good one. Going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Stay with us.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Following a little bit of breaking news here at the bottom of the 3 o'clock hour, let's give you a live look right now. This is the North Shore Bank at West Capitol in Brookfield. We don't know much right now. We just know that there is a police presence. Our crews did stumble upon this here, but as we take a live look right now, nothing that we know for sure. We do have calls into police to hopefully find out more here, but again, we do know of an active scene right now, police presence at the North Shore Bank in Brookfield. Once we learn more, we'll be sure to bring it to you right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Packed day that we've had today together, guys. I know I've been with you all for about 3 hours now in total. Mary Stoker-Smith took over for a little bit there, but so much to kind of recap and go through to give you a live look right now. At Denver, we know our Tim Van Boren just made the landing there ahead of the Packers preseason game tomorrow in Denver against the Broncos, hoping that the Packers will fare out well against the team after the season last year. So once we'll get those reports from Tim, he'll be live tomorrow and have those reports for us on our early and evening newscast. Hopefully also join us again right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. So super excited to chat with him once again. Back out to that scene right now at the North Shore Bank in Brookfield. Again, we don't know much. Our crews just got to the scene of this. It's looks like there is a bit of a police presence here. I see a couple of squad cars. This is the North Shore Bank. As we take a live look around here, it looks like a Dollar Tree right next door there. But again, nothing too crazy from the looks of it right now. Just a couple of squad cars out front there, but we can't really confirm anything right now. We do have calls into police. We're waiting to hear more right now, but you can see a couple of squad cars out there as our crews start to pan around here. But yeah, you can see there's the bank right there. There's like a produce farm stand in the parking lot there. Our crews did just get to the scene, so we're hoping to maybe talk to some witnesses, see what we can vet out and find out more. And once we have an update, we will bring it to you right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Let's see if we can bring up any audio here. And looks like we do not have any as we are continue to take a live look out here right now. Looks like bank appears to be maybe, I can see actually there's some crime scene tape blocking off part of the bank right there at the entrance. Again, this is the North Shore Bank in Brookfield, just off of Capitol right now. Looks like police officers been walking in and out of the area here. Several squad cars there. Again, we don't have anything confirmed right now. Our crews did just arrive to the scene, but once we learn more, we will be sure to bring it to you right here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Other big stories that we're following today at the beginning of our newscast, I leave this shot up. We were following a fire that happened in West Allis, actually. It was at the future DPW building. This was near 53rd and Burnham. We heard from several officials, including the Assistant West Allis Fire Chief, Armando Suarez del Real, talking a little bit about what exactly happened at that scene. We know that the fire started around 10:30. It was escalated to a third alarm fire pretty quickly. We know several departments had to come in and help out, including Greenfield, Wauwatosa, Milwaukee. They were on the scene to assist. We know that there's no imminent risk or danger to the community. The fire has since been put out. Taking a look at some of the drone video that we got right here, showing a little bit of the damage. We know that this was the future, it was under construction, but it's supposed to be the future DPW building for West Allis and West Milwaukee. It was supposed to open later this year. We don't know if this fire will affect that timeline, but again, once we get more information, we'll be sure to bring it to you. So that's why it's always important to keep it right here on Fox Local. We will be there for you as the news breaks, right as it happens. But again, as you can see, this is video from our Skyfox drone of fire crews watering it down. As you can see, pretty extensive damage, it looks like, on the roof there, with the charred up parts of the roof. Again, not sure how this fire started. We're hoping to get an update as this fire is under investigation. We'll have reports coming up on Fox 6 News at 4 as well. We'll be back.